live. Go from there. It'll be great.
Oof.
Okay, so happy Easter, lads. Hope everybody has had a splendid morning and afternoon. We are getting into our 15th session of Ascension to Sazarin. You guys are still, of course, seemingly lost in the caves of this strange dwarven undergrowth. Although you did find out, in some ways at least, how they may have dug this place out by felling a grand digger beast that the the dwarves said were responsible for hollowing these tunnels out. It certainly required a hell of a lot of effort to bring down, and it also took a few of you guys down with it, and you had to be revived. Those were Darix, Ro, and was there one other that needed to be
It was the Slayer.
revived? Yes, of course, the Slayer, who is no longer with the party after ascending through some foul ritual of some sort. Also, in the process, we had Narath lose track of and then lose, entire possession of the Blue Draconian Blood Knight warrior that had been sent to bring you all to justice, you suppose. That being said, there's also some orc warrioress running amok inside the caves, and she seems to be the one that had, spirited that Draconin away. So some intrigue abound as you attempt to navigate this position. I believe that was pretty much everything summed up in a nutshell. However, it's also worth noting that in the sort of at the tail end of our session, we did have Blink make the decision to kind of move on in his own direction, while Darix, Ro, and Ashtorium sort of hunkered down for a short rest inside the pool of the little atrium there inside that has the same pool that Arame, the clearly not just halfsmith bard of sorts, had visited you all. With that being said, Silas and Narath, you guys were heading due north through that northern passage. I believe the idea was to try to figure out exactly which cave the Blood Knight had been pushed through, and that if you could remove him from the premises, it would help quiet some of the spirits that were clearly upset. There was some vague allusion from Ludman that the spirits would be required to essentially blockade some of the cave exits to prevent their movements from going unannounced, and that may help you in your quest to bring out these interlopers to justice. At the very least, get them dispensed with. That being said, while you should be worried about a potential fight, the other thing that is perhaps more disconcerting is that the unknown fate of the Harlot's Lair after transforming itself into that approximately 9-foot tall horror, and then using magic to escape your wrath. So that seems to be where things are. I don't know if I missed anything. Feel free to chime in if there's anything else that should be mentioned. I guess the only other thing is that Darix had consulted with oh, yes, that's right. Darix had consulted with Eternity to make sure everything was still fine. Everything seemed just fine, but the dragon eggs, the Draconin eggs, were missing, and perhaps had been looted or pickpocketed or something during Darix's travels throughout the caves. Though the exact presence of them is not yet known, it does seem like they will be reunited with Darix by the end of this journey. At least that is what Eternity said on the matter. So I think that's actually everything for real, for real.
For real, for real?
So with that all reset and reestablished, I'll first ask Darix, Ro, and Ashtorium if you have any plans other than just resting up and doing a short rest for about an hour. as I pull you guys into the scene, of course.
I think just that.
Yeah, I think Ro's a little too fucked up to do anything else. He only has 1 HP.
Yeah, that's all of us are really messed up. So
Okay. And Blink, is it still your intention to travel through the cave that you saw the Blood Knight disappear through?
Yes.
Okay.
Darks will kind of move toward the water, and like he's unsure about drinking it or using it, and so he will make a, I guess I like a
Are you trying to
quiet
check the
prayer?
Oh, okay, I see.
To both the Starfather and the spirits, and before like drinking from it, and then after he drinks from it, he'll cup water and use it to wash his completely filthy face and some of the blood off of his armor.
Okay. That sounds
Because
like
things seem to gravitate towards this for whatever reason. So maybe it's healing property.
Right. It's also worth noting that I should have reinforced this in the reset as well, but when you guys came in to this chamber to rest, it did feel eerily, maybe not eerily, but just like unnaturally calming. Like it was perhaps the most comparable feeling to it would have been when you walked into a particular room in the manor where you met Maxon, and essentially everything seemed much more relaxed, much more calm. Narath never hit a single intimidation check, that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I know that doesn't narrow it down, but that would be one of the.
Yeah, it's like wait, which?
That's right. I should mention, Shambler, the player behind Narath, is not here right now. He is driving back, so he should be able to join us. I don't know when. He didn't give us an ETA, but sooner than he thought. So we will have the full party here shortly. So, okay. So I'll get to what I'll describe stuff about the water a bit later on for Darix, but now I know that's what he's doing. Are you just going to try to slip directly into unconsciousness, Ro? Ashorian can mechanically do that, but I don't know if you were... Like, at this point, you're banged up and such, so I didn't know what you're...
Yeah, he's probably just going to lay next to the pool and try to go to sleep best he can.
Okay, got it. Alright, so, Silas, you were following Narath up north. And my question for you, I didn't mean to move you. My question for you is, do you have a particular thought or expectation for what you are specifically looking for? Did you just come up here to help Narath try to track down the loose convict, as Narath had said? Because it's a little awkward since Narath was the one with the agency, I suppose, or the initiative on this matter.
Did someone invoke the
Oh
devil?
shit, he's there. Never mind.
Hey.
We actually do have everybody here. So there you go. All right, well, Shambler, I did give everybody the spiel about everything that had happened. So,
We have the
Turned into stream, comrade.
yeah, okay. Yeah. So, yeah, we invoked you. We invoked you by talking about your intimidation check. So, but besides
Yes.
that, okay, so Narath
My
and
very
Silas...
successful one.
Yes, you guys are moving north. I'm pretty sure the reason you were moving north was to try to apprehend the Blood Knight and the Orc Lady, right?
Yep.
You were looking around for her and the captive, and in an attempt to sort of bring them up. And you had just heard from Ludman that once the spirits are sort of more they're actually going where they ought to go to cover the cave entrances. They'll at least like help you in your cause, since now they've seen that you're here to sort of you are an ally in the spirit's mind anyway. So that's what Ludman said. Neither of you really have any immediate way to verify these claims, but it was the most confident you've ever seen Ludman act. So, you can factor that one in. Yeah, there you go.
So, can we proceed forward?
Yeah, sure. So what we'll say is, we'll say that you guys are in the midst of walking through the cavern, looking around at anything untoward. One cave is entirely unlit, while the other sort of channel here has two cave entrances that are opposite each other. One lantern casts a light to the cave to the north, but the other to the south does not seem to have any light being shown upon it.
As we're walking through, I would like to do the signature finger snap and summon the hawk.
Oh, okay. I can't remember if we were having you just do that, or if I was supposed... I guess I can spawn them right on top of you, so you can...
Okay, I think if I use the option in my spell list, it expends a spell slot.
Right, of course.
Just summoning it.
Well, I did throw it right on top of you, and I attached it to you, so you should just be able to move your own token, and it'll be fine.
Hey.
Isn't that nifty?
Can that creature see in the dark?
I don't believe so, but it could scout ahead for us and return.
Okay.
Well, alright.
So you guys are walking through this cave. It's considerably less, dynamic in this section. Far fewer lights are active, and even in the sort of eastern part of the far side of the room, you're talking about seeing multiple little divots and spots. Ultimately, it ends up with a little bit of a runaround in the far side. The air feels more stagnant here, as if this part of the cavern is rarely stirred.
I'd like to look for any signs of recent arrivals here.
All right. Give me an investigation check. And if Three Crow or if Silas wants to do that too, he can give me his one as well.
Yeah, I want to see how recently these corpses have died.
Okay, sure. We'll use investigation for both.
I have a feeling he has better investigation than me. I'd like to assist him.
Well, he's trying to go for something different than you, so
Oh.
that might be a bit tough.
17.
Yeah, with a 17, Silas, you'll be looking at what at first glance... Oh, look at that. At first glance, what you see when you gaze upon the remains of the dwarves, as you immediately are able to identify them, the first thought you have is that they must have been somewhat recent, because the bones are not degraded. They seem to be of quite still quite sturdy, even from afar. But when you crouch down to take a closer look at them, you'll realize that there's a very healthy amount of dust on top all of them. It's not just little pieces here and there. It's an entire layer, maybe a few. That indicates to you that these have been here for quite some time. However, they have been preserved in some way, perhaps in a magical way. And so, despite their haphazard nature being strewn about seemingly without care, the bones themselves remain remarkably intact for their age. You estimate that it could be anywhere from 50 to 100 years, maybe more.
Do I get the impression that the quality of the preservation is a result of their physical fortitude or some kind of magical effect?
It's not immediately obvious what the source is, but you've never known dwarves to have a reputation for hard bones, per se. Being hard asses? Yeah, sure, that sounds like dwarves, but having tough, bones or physiology? Not exactly. So your gut will tell you that these have been preserved through magical means.
This is disconcerting. And Silas will wander off to rejoin Narath.
And as a result of your investigation check, Narath, you are going to end up seeing a very peculiar sight indeed. So there's a lot of tracks in a few areas of this cavern, though none of them seem to be what you would have expected out of the Blood Knight's heavy, greaves, nor whatever the Orc Lady was. Instead, you're seeing 3, maybe 4 sets of footsteps going this way and that, sort of crawling all around this place. Some of the footfalls are light and lithe, could have been made by a deft human, but nonetheless a light creature. The rest of them seem maybe a bit heavier. You could even swear you might recognize 1 or 2 of them, at least in terms of their size.
Did any of you come through here, as far as you're aware, Silas?
Did you hear me?
Sorry, say that one more time.
Did any of you come through this part of the caverns?
We are the first 2 to have ventured this far.
Really? You weren't part of the big group that was here? Okay.
I think he came out in the middle, like upper middle, but...
Okay.
I remember exploring the room in the southeast of the current map, and also going a little bit north of that. I don't remember coming this far up.
Yeah, no, Silas mostly stayed towards where we were before everyone got separated.
Yep.
It seems our prey did not arrive here, then.
Narath says.
Which means that these caverns work slowly. Slower than I expected.
There's a sudden disturbance at the far side of the hall, all the way back due west, where you guys had initially come up. It sounds as if some sort of scuffle has occurred. It's a single sound, but it's certainly markedly sharp, shall we say.
Alright, they go bolting that way.
Alright, hold still, because now we gotta switch over to what's going on with Blink. So, Blink,
Yeah, I'm going through that cave.
you go through that cave, all right. Not only do you go through that cave, you're going to come upon the site that you probably didn't dare to expect. I'll tell you that much.
That sounds good. Is it a new map?
No, but when you return from the on the other side, crossing the threshold, the first thing that will grace your ears is a very sudden and jolting, effort, followed by what you swear could have been the slamming down of a great blade or weapon, and the telltale slice of flesh. It's coming directly from the east. But your senses currently seem to fail you.
Alright, Blink's gonna take out a torch.
Okay.
If I can find it.
As you ignite the torch, you catch sight of what exactly is happening. Illuminated by the firelight, the grim figure of the female orc that you had scuffled with in the past once again lets out a cry of effort as she, with holding her battle axe, brings it down upon the gleaming turquoise outline of the warrior that you had initially been investigating. No, Shambler, this is back in time.
Oh. In the past.
I'd like to. So she's not facing me yet.
No, she's not facing you, but light has a way of attracting attention.
Yeah.
So
No, I know that.
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
letting you know what happens now, and whatever Blink wants to do as soon as he sees this information, because there is going to be a sudden snarl from the orc in a moment.
Drawing his rapier with his right hand, he's gonna as he prepares to draw it, he's gonna chuck the torch. He's gonna try and throw it at the orc.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to get an attack roll going, but
We'll
Oh,
just
he's
say
invisible.
you roll a 1d20 plus your prof bonus, so 1d20 plus 2. Holy shit. Okay, give me
That's a crit.
give me 2d4 for the damage.
You catch her on fire with that?
Something like that. Okay. That's not bad, right? All right. The orc screams in rage and pain as you cast the torch her way. Not only does it land square against the back of her hide armor, but it seems to have struck with such precision that it immediately spews fire upon her. She catches a fire, catching a light, and then in a fit turns towards you and begins to charge directly at you. So now would be a good time to roll initiative.
I get to reroll that.
You do.
I don't think I can. I think you have to roll. I guess I can just roll the 1d.
You roll and I'll put whatever the higher one is in you. All right, that's a pretty. Let's do update, and it was a 21. Okay. All right, let's go. You would have beaten her either way, but it is your turn.
That makes me feel good that I quadrupled it at least.
Yeah, that's it.
You styled on her.
All right.
You get +1 on intimidation checks against the orc. You're just that damn fast.
Does she still have the stab wound from my rapier, or the cut wound I should say? It wouldn't be a stab.
In the chaos and with her on fire, I don't think
It's
you'll be
very
able
hard to
to
tell.
tell.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
She's definitely yelling and screaming. I mean, you could use your bonus action to make that kind of perception roll or something if you wanted to try it, but I don't know if you want to spend that on a bonus action on that.
All right. With a flourish of his rapier.
Yeah. Well, that hits. See that damage.
Next roll.
All
The
right.
dice are dicing.
Your dice are dicing, sir. With a vicious slice forward with your rapier, you strike, and let's just say it's an artful display. A pity no one else was ready to see that. The blazing orc is gutted and pierced. Surely these wounds are the mortal kind. Her days are numbered. In her flailing, she enters what seems to be some kind of senseless frenzy and pushes past you. I'm going to need a constitution or a dexterity saving throw. Let's see how good your dice. Ooh.
Oh my god, +5.
No longer
-7.
waiting.
All right, so she is going to be able to move past you with relative ease, her brutish strength showing as she pushes you off to the side and charges directly into the cave, illuminating it along the way until suddenly the light is snapped shut.
No attack of opportunity.
Now, he
I'm assuming that's what the dex
yeah,
save through
that
is?
was he got displaced in the process, so
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think that would work. All right. So, Blink, you have your torch use is gone, of course. It's on the lady now, but you're pretty sure you just killed her.
She took the torch with her? That's pretty base.
Well, I guess it's probably just bonked on the ground somewhere, but it's gone out, is what I'm saying. The fire shattered all over her. So.
All right. Well, we're going to take out another.
Okay. That's pretty simple. I think you might be able to use the torch item, not only to expend the resources, but to actually activate a torch. I don't really know if that works. You can try that, and if it doesn't, I can just
shot. Yeah. No, it wants me to attack.
Well, you can consume resource at least.
I already did that on my end.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I don't know why it said that. That's fine.
Place measured template?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's if you were going to put it down. I think. I
That's
don't.
what it seems
To be
like.
honest, I have no idea what those measured templates are meant for. But eventually, maybe I'll learn if they're useful. Well, torch in hand, you're able to see dead ahead that the warrior that you had been looking for lies motionless, bleeding. It's several good axe strikes have seemingly left the warrior bereft of a pulse, though perhaps you had best confirm that firsthand.
Yeah, not leaving anything to chance, as this warrior has seemingly survived without a pulse a couple times now. He's going to approach the warrior, and he's going to take the helmet off with his. Yeah, he's going to take the helmet
Did he
off.
get another helmet?
I don't know. Did he get another helmet?
He's wearing a helmet.
Like
Yeah,
last time
he's-
I checked, we keep
he's-
taking these helmets off. Where does he keep getting helmets?
He's wearing a helmet. He's going to take the helmet off.
It teleports back onto his head.
This guy's gear needs to be studied.
So you take the helmet off, and
Yeah.
as
I
you
see his-
as you do so, it does indeed appear to be the same blue Draconan warrior. Most people might be quick to forget faces, but something about you, maybe it's the fact that you can turn into people that you see. You remember faces, Blink, and that's the face. Though there is something oddly misshapen about one of his eyeballs. It's like swollen in an odd way that's inconsistent with injury.
He's got a tadpole.
This guy is
Can I
an
do, like,
abomination that's stitched together from the.
Is there like
other-
a medicine check or something to see what that could be?
Yeah, you
Like
can
some-
you can roll medicine. That is a skill.
Well.
Okay, can you describe to me what exactly you're doing as you attempt this medicine check? We know your roll isn't good, but like, are you just looking at it? Are you grabbing his head?
Yeah, so he's not like grossed out, but he doesn't want to be a part of it. Like he was gonna like go for like an up close kill, but he has no idea what's going on with this guy, and now he's got like a swollen eyeball. So
And a lot of
he would've,
wounds on
like-
his person. He's bleeding from the torso and stuff, right?
Yeah, he doesn't really want to touch that. So he wouldn't really be like touching him or anything. Like he's not up close and personal trying to move the wound around. So he's just kind of looking from a distance. Like he's still standing even. Like he took
Okay.
the helmet off and then stood back up.
Did he? Okay, so you took the helmet off, and we'll say that as you let the now you can surmise corpse fall back down enough so that you had to kind of lift him up a little bit to get the helmet off. You let him fall back into a resting position, and the rest of his anatomy seems to obey traditional law, but that bulbous eye that he's got, that swollen eye, it almost like rattles where the pupil is moving, not as if the eye was looking at something, but as if it was possessed with a great force, like it's moving, swinging, as if you had just like sort of punched his face and kind of like his whole face had moved really fast, but not quite. It's only the eye moving at that speed. A really unsettling sight. I would say probably even for Blink. That seems
Blake
to
is
be
going
right
to
there.
take a step back. He's gonna he'll probably like place the torch somewhere where it's
Okay.
where he can just very briefly, and he's gonna pull out a short bow and he's just gonna put an arrow through his head. Do I need an
No
attack
one
roll?
wants
Or
to let
do I
me
need any
ask
roll?
my question.
Just-
I say, let's see your attack roll with advantage. I want to see. Okay. Okay. That's good enough for like an eye shot if you're specifically targeting that eye.
He's targeting the.
Okay.
He's targeting between the eyes.
Oh. Okay.
He just wants an end to this creature. Whatever the hell is
Alright.
going on with this guy.
So the head will knock back, like you'll almost hear what sounds like bones break as the scaly hide parts to accept this arrow, and there's like this squelching sound that continues well after the first bit of bolts piercing the flesh of the now penetrated Draconin head. That squelching continues as you look on, and it's a bit of a disturbing sight. So maybe it's appropriate to say look on in horror. I'll let you decide how Blink feels about it, as that eye forces itself out of the socket and pops in a sickening fashion, falling to the ground and writhing like a fish that just beached itself.
Blink is going to pick up his torch, and he's going to walk away from this disgusting sight. And he's going to say, I don't think the orc is the only thing that doesn't belong here.
All right. As you walk away from the putrid, you could call it the putrid pugilist. He's not really a boxer, but that almost works. Will you be traveling through another cave? Or will you be going the long way?
It's a good question. So I probably killed the orc.
You're
What
pretty
else would
confident
we-
it would not survive that, especially since it was still
Yeah.
on fire.
It was still on fire. So orc lady's dead. Digger's dead. What else were we looking for? Just something that doesn't belong, like some spirit that doesn't belong. Did we get a name, like a descriptor of it?
No, so Ludman said
know,
that there
just
were
undead horror.
intruders and that more of them may even be on the way, but that the point of the exercise here is to basically find whatever the spirits are concerned about, get rid of it or resolve it, and then those concerned spirits will return to their posts, and the tunnels will be acting as they should, essentially, properly policed and all that. So that it wasn't very specific, which, under normal circumstances might have been a point of interrogation, but it was also at the end of the session, so I think people were just checked out or sleeping. I mean, it looks like it's down 2 intruders to Blink right now. So,
Yeah.
and you know that 3 of
Is
your party
there-
members are doing a short rest, so you might return to them for the time being, or you can continue poking around and seeing if you can find anything. What were you about to ask me?
I was gonna say that the other than the fact that he saw the orc lady run through that tunnel, the light was also shining into that tunnel. So he's gonna somehow reason with himself that the light will lead him to where the cave needs him to be, and he's gonna go through this one.
Sounds good to me. All right, we'll leave you there, because if I make you invisible, you can't see anything. And we will return to the antics of Silas and Narath. Just so you know, the sound that appeared to be happening is a little bit further back. It's the cave with the light. Or it's the cave with the yellow light. Yep, that's the one. So, as Narath and Silas, as you rush towards the sound of clatter and clamor, you'll see and perhaps even smell a very unseeming sight. Light pours from the cavern, and soon out, running like a bat out of hell, an orc with fire set to her screams towards you all. she's got her war axe drawn, so this is probably an initiative. But I'll let you guys decide if you want to try reasoning with it.
What the
Let me
hell?
see. Narath will yell at the top of his lungs. Stop. And just try to scare her into standing still. I know she doesn't understand, but like he'll make himself stand real wide and just yell.
Dude, I like the idea that if the orc was fast enough and Narath was fast enough, I would have heard that while stabbing the idiot in the head.
Yeah.
Also, he rolled intimidation.
Holy shit, he rolled a really good one too.
Oh my goodness.
Is it a bad
Finally
time to?
defeated
It
an enemy,
is
not a party member.
It is a Posca miracle.
Is it a bad time to mention that the orc warrior, while under the effects of senseless frenzy, is not susceptible to? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that would have been funny.
That's
That would have
a
been really
rule of
funny.
cool.
Nat 20 from the orc.
Okay, Narath, you summon whatever. You summon all of the remaining sort of like strength of character that you can muster up in this moment, and the frustration of losing one of your prized convicts may have just boiled over into rage at the creature that had plucked him away from you. The woman does in fact stop, though her flesh screams as the fire licks at her, having singed through and burnt through much of the back layer of her hide armor. Her hair also alight. Blood drips and gushes from her battle axe. She seems utterly incensed, but despite the flames, you have somehow managed to convince her to stay her blade, and instead she simply makes ready to run away, which will indeed provoke an attack of opportunity of sorts if you wish to do something. That includes grapple or some other action.
I'd like to grapple her to the ground and make her stop, drop, and roll.
Oh, okay. That'll be a contested athletics check. So roll athletics for me. And normally I would say with disadvantage, but I will say that you negated that. Holy shit.
Damn.
Well, she got
Some good rolls tonight.
She did not beat that, surprisingly. Well,
With
Silas,
disadvantage?
you're going to witness Narath grab hold of this flaming orc female and immediately press her into the ground, into the cave's dirt and rock, and begin working on putting out the fire by way of suffocation. You'll probably grimace a little bit as the flesh continues to sear, knowing that this method of extinguishing fire is going to result in some scarring and burning and singeing. What is your play during all of this?
I will take out a piece of spare clothing, and I will begin beating the orc with it in an attempt to put out the flames.
Okay. We'll say I'm going to invent a skill check for putting out fire with clothing. Give me sleight of hand. I think that's fine.
I feel like a medicine check would work.
Not so good.
Well, you're
fan the flames.
You're fanning the flame. No, you're helping. You're doing your best to help, Rand.
His sleight of hand is so bad, his aim is so bad that he hits Narath in the face with it.
It slightly obscures Narath's view, but he continues to try to convince the orc to stop, drop, and roll. All right, well, the fire is still going, Narath, and she is screaming as it singes her quite a bit. She looks quite upset by this, and you know, it's not just her flesh screaming now. She's back to screaming. You can feel the rage building up within her, her form becoming harder for you to control, even with your impressive display. You reckon you'll only have another chance at stopping her from being on fire.
Okay, would Spare the Dying put out the fire?
No, that's only if they're unconscious, right? I think that's
Okay.
how that ability
So
does.
if she goes into critical, we'll spare the dying here.
Yeah.
Just until the fire goes up. But I'm not wasting false life on this woman.
The idea that you know this
Flames,
thing,
Arath.
the idea that you know this thing has to die because it's intruder, and you're just like, nah, man. Let's
No,
save it."
Ludman said it's a problem. That's why I'm going through all this. If they become a spirit in here. If I cast True Strike, can Silas have advantage on his next flame attack?
Yeah, we can do that. That's creative.
Okay.
There you go.
So Narath cast True Strike on the areas where the flames are. His finger
On the
turning
flame.
black as he points at them, and strange energies draw Silas's hand towards the region.
My pupils dilate as I focus on the flame. I begin to bat with more vigor.
That's right. You need a sleight of hand check with advantage now, Silas. Let's see it. Ooh, that one will do it. All right. Turns out you didn't
Didn't
need the
even need-
advantage after all. Okay, the fire is finally abated with the combined efforts of Narath's magical enhancements, impressive grappling, and of course Silas's fanning and padding out with spare clothing. The orc's screams and heavy breathing continue, and you might have abated the rage buildup, but this lady is very upset and very angry and still quite vengeful, and is struggling with Narath as soon as is reasonably possible. So I'm gonna need one more athletics check if Narath wants to keep hold of her. Okay, we'll say you're able to keep her still, and she begins to erupt in a litany of some language you don't recognize. It's a brutal tongue. The gnashing of teeth and the strange, like half slurping sounds of her tongue. It's not a pleasant language to listen to.
Narath would like to fully restrain her to the point where she can't draw any weapons or anything.
Okay. Yeah, you will say that you can do that, considering you succeeded in another check.
And he'll say to Silas, "Take all of her, tie her quickly, man. She's a fierce one."
Silas will cast a message on the orc. I'll try to speak into her mind. Fear not. I know you are afraid and you are hurt, but we do not mean to harm you.
Can you, when the way that message works, are you able to speak in thoughts, or is it in a language?
So it says you point your finger towards a creature within range and whisper a message. The target and only the target can hear the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear.
Okay. In that case, or in general, I'm going to ask you for a persuasion check.
Okay. It,
I mean, we just put the fires out. He should have advantage on that. Like, what enemy would restrain you, put out the fires on you?
Well, you did, yeah, you restrained her, and, making sure she can't defend
She's on
herself.
fire!
Yeah.
And I made her roll
Well,
to put out the fire. They don't teach that in orc school?
no. They teach Smash.
I don't think they teach anything.
They teach Hunt.
Yeah, I don't think
Smash.
there is orc school.
Yeah, this isn't.
The local shaman didn't teach when magic fire get on you. Roll in dirt.
I feel like orcs are like gnolls. There is no school. You just kind of, you hopefully don't die growing up.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
The school of hard knocks.
Well, she is. The response that comes is not a quiet whisper in your mind. It seems as if the orc's eyes go wide as you speak to her, non-verbally, and she's not even immediately aware that it's you speaking, Silas. She's like too busy with her eyes, widened, and her desperation starting to mount. She does not seem abated or calmed by your words. But she doesn't also seem to know that it's you speaking. So, you might have gotten off scot-free on that one.
In an attempted display of dominance, Narath would like to slam her head against the ground and then roar in her face
Well, that'll work.
Yeah.
What the
Well,
fuck,
to
dude?
intimidate her.
why is Narath like this? Whatever. You know.
I like that.
What do you
That
mean?
is-
More? Because it's a feral savage.
I think that is how you seduce an orc. So
She falls madly in love with the old lizard.
That's a very horrible romance for reasons you don't understand.
Dude, the whole reason we're even chasing after this orc is because Narath wanted to be mad at Blink for nothing.
Do I have to roll for this, or?
Are you intimidating her?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah,
So I
let's
get
see
this head slam for free. Oh, mid.
Nice 10, bro. Perfectly mid.
The orc is like the cries and anger of the orc seem to quiet a moment for a moment as she attempts to recover, reeling from the smash of her forehead. You'll notice that the rock that you smashed her forehead against seems a touch more brittle now. She's got a hard head.
Narath will say to Silas, "Hie her up, man."
Silas wants to know why you're taking this orc as a hostage.
Dude, I legit just
Everybody
replaced
is a
one orc-
hostage.
one
Everybody's
with
a
another.
hostage.
I will fucking interrogate this orc if it's the last thing I do. Okay?
Why do you have to interrogate everything? She's a
I want
savage.
answers. I
Oh
want
my
the truth.
god.
I'm pretty sure there's a orc
It's such a
who did
good
not
thing that
intend to be
Dark.
here.
It's a good thing Dark's asleeping.
Information.
Honestly, you're just
power.
giving Blink more people to kill, so it's kind of worth it.
I'm gonna kill Blink if he kills this one. Well, actually, no, I don't like Blink, so it's okay.
Like, are we supposed to like send them away?
I'm going to interrogate them at the Sazarin or here. It depends on how the short rest long. How long the
The
short
most
rest. is.
exhausting character of all time. Just takes everybody as a hostage.
Happy Easter, dude.
Christos and nasty.
The
You
orc
could
has
have just
risen.
let me have the blue dracona, but no, we gotta kill it.
Well, I mean, yeah, he wasn't supposed to be here. The spirits were pissed off.
Spirits were not
Anyway,
happy.
is Silas gonna tie this orc up, or are we just gonna sit here for 10 minutes?
Silas should.
I'm gonna do you one better. Silas is going to look at the orc's face, whether they're making eye contact or not, and he is going to slowly reach a hand out, and he is going to say, "Rest now, brave warrior." And as he reaches a finger towards their forehead, there will be a quick flash of light, and he can try to cast sleep.
You can't put a spirit to sleep.
Okay, so we
I'm
need to
pretty
see you
sure
roll
she's
for
not a
damage,
spirit.
right?
Yes, so
There's no way that this thing has enough hit points to resist the sleep.
Dude, he should get a max roll and then put both of you to sleep.
quickly reading this, because I don't know how many dice it is.
There's a damage button, so you should be able to just click that. Knock, knock. Oh, that's
23 hit
that's
points.
definitely enough. So,
How much health does Narath have?
Fuck
well,
off. I have more than that.
factoring in the temp HP, he's got it's 27. He's got plenty. Okay, the orc, finally will fall limp, and like a very, very heavy sack of potatoes, will just simply crumple to the ground.
Alright. Narath will tie up the orc now and say, I don't know about brave. The bitch ran like a coward. But I want some answers before we put this one down.
Can she even speak common?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
we cannot.
but I can read all writing, and we have pen and paper.
Yeah, because she can write.
Yeah. 'cause
I can't wait for him to find out how orcs learn writing. Rarely.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe she'll draw some pictures of cool logos.
Maybe if this was like an
Yeah.
orcish shaman, maybe
If,
they know how to
we
write.
start playing Pictionary with this orc, she's dying. Okay. It's just that.
No,
simple.
I'm gonna show her some logos and see what happens.
Logos of what?
Or enemies,
Coca-Cola.
primarily.
All right. So,
In response to Narath's comment, Silas will say, "A lifetime is long, Narath. We know not the bravery that has happened before this moment."
True.
Let me, and my lifetime has been very long, Silas. And let me tell you, they are predators of opportunity as much as idiocy.
burned. Well, literally, I guess, but
Is that a truth or
while
a
he's-
reflection?
Yeah.
What did you say?
is
Is that a truth or a reflection?
Ah.
Is that truth or a reflection? Is what he said?
Yeah, he's calling
Reflection.
you stupid.
Yeah, he's asking you if you're talking about yourself, basically.
Which
Got him.
the fact
I
that you
have
didn't
made
get
many mistakes,
it.
my friend, but none of them are as savage. You will have time to hear of them soon. I do not forget that I owe all of you some answers.
Yeah, we get to
now that
interrogate
my
you.
tongue is loosed.
So, you guys are now in charge of carrying this orc back to the camp?
Well, first he is going to tie her up very securely and loot her.
Oh, that makes sense.
Everything's on fire. Everything's ash.
What was that?
Ashtorium.
Astorium.
But what does the orc have?
It turns out not much. There's a singed shield strapped to her back, mostly unusable now. A battle axe, a few hand axes. Everything else seems either to have burnt away in the fire or more weaponry, blades, pieces of metal.
Narath will take the blades.
Alrighty.
And then, can I pick her up?
Yeah, we'll say you show me your athletics here, and that will determine how easy or hard it is. Okay, it's quite the heavy amount of heft. You could do it solo. That would just mean that both of your hands would be occupied, and you'd be traveling a bit slower.
Oh. Better to have one party member with no hands than both party members stuck carrying. So
Does that mean you guys are heading back to camp now? Is Silas also doing that? Well, camp, the water area, the pool.
I will assist with tying up and retrieving the carry.
You kind of started fading out there. You said you're just gonna assist carrying.
Yeah, I'll assist with the tying up and the carry.
Okay, got it. Well, in that case, while you guys are on your way down, we can actually switch back to the homies that are resting up. So, Darix, I believe you were pretty close to the waters, and you were partaking of some of them.
Yes.
Okay. If the homies that are incoming can wait outside the room for the sake of focus here. That while we do this little time lapse bit, that'll work out fine. Because you'll be able to return without incident. That being said, Darix, as you took you left. Was it a silent prayer or did you just say it quietly? I couldn't remember.
He says a silent prayer.
Okay, and then you take from the water. It's that perfect temperature of, not cold enough to cause a withering of the skin or the scales, but still cool enough to be quite refreshing. Goes down very smoothly and delicately, and as it does so, you do feel a sense of rejuvenation, but not one that comes from your healing per se. More so, almost as if it's like lifting a burden of stress upon you. As if the water itself has some kind of multiplicative effect on top of the general sense of calm that you felt when you entered this. And when you look up from taking your drink from the water, a hound that you had seen Blink be temporarily interested in earlier, back when he was still pulling the charade as Javai, will have taken a place right beside you. Your senses must have failed you, as you did not hear any footsteps or footfalls, and the creature simply, without acknowledging your presence visually, sips from the waters, and otherwise acts as if you were not there.
So, he's going to, remember that, Blink was messing around with this dog.
That's right.
And it seems to, remind me, was it here, just by itself before, or when, he had come in the room?
No, it was here, and then Blink walked towards it, because...
Okay.
Yeah. And it only responded when Blink attempted to touch it. That was when it growled at him. Other than that, it showed zero interest, or even, a reaction in what, an acknowledgement that Blink was actually there. Very odd behavior for a hound.
Both curious and assured that the thing isn't bad, considering that it's in this relaxing, maybe close to sacred. Something about this room is just transcendentally good, and Darix can feel that. He's gonna look at the dog, the hound, and he's gonna speak to it, can you hear me, Canine?
The hound doesn't respond to you with any verbal cue, but as soon as you finish uttering that sentence, it does lower its head, in what you almost feel like could have been a nod, but instead seems to be the start of it going down to drink from the waters once more.
How long have you been drinking from this? How long have you been here? It's such a strange thing to see a canine down here. Did you belong to someone, I wonder? Did your master perish here? And while he says this, he's going to very tentatively reach a hand out, and he's not gonna touch the dog, but he does know enough to if he reaches his hand out and lets the canine to sniff him, maybe it will be less averse to being cut.
So you present your sort of claw hand towards the hound.
Yep.
It seems to, there's a very, very faint twitch of its nose. Again, it's like a part of it almost is recognizing you, but it simply follows through on the movement and returns to drink from the water.
He's gonna like kind of drink some more with the dog, and he's gonna like move over to kind of like sit right next to it and scratch it behind the ears, or try to anyway.
Rather than the reaction engendered by Blink when he attempted to make physical contact with it, where it elicited a growl, you're going to adjust yourself to be a bit closer to it, and then when you go to make contact with it, or your hand draws near to it, the light inside the chamber will almost like flicker for a moment.
Oh. From the lantern?
That's right. It sort of like draws your attention sort of reflexively.
Okay, but I haven't touched the dog yet.
Not yet. You just you were moving towards that, yeah.
Okay. Noticing the flicker, he's going to reach his hand out and just touch the dog on the top of the head and see what happens.
And are you looking towards the dog at this point, or looking towards the lantern that was flickering?
He's... it's hard to look at both, given the angle, but... I'd say at first he looks at the dog. Cause he can see if the light flickers.
Yeah.
So he'll look at the dog.
Well, as your finger gets close enough to make physical contact with the hound, it will suddenly turn like a snapping motion as it gazes directly into your visage, looking you right in the eyes, undeniably recognizing you. And then the light will flicker, and the hound will seemingly puff and vanish.
Dirks will make a frown at that. What is, strange incident, and he honestly has no idea how to interpret it. The hound is clearly friendly, but something about touching it makes the stuff here upset, or maybe it's just upset. Maybe it being upset makes the light flicker. He doesn't know. So, kind of sad because he kind of wanted to pet the dog, because it's just something so normal, something serene in this complete mess of adventure he's had, and he'll just kind of lean back against the rock of the little spring and close his eyes and pray, not silently but quietly, for illumination, and also ask Kanakon if he's there.
All right. So how are you sitting during this? Are you like resting, relaxing? Are you?
Yeah. He's like he's kind of sitting. Like on his legs. He just got his legs underneath him.
Yeah.
Kind of like as if you were about to prostrate or something.
Mm-hmm.
When you got your knees underneath you. Which
right.
is like a meditative or prayerful position for him.
Okay. So while we wait for a response for that particular part, I'm going to come to Ashtorium next.
Ashtorium just wants to not be at 6 hit points.
Exactly, of course. That, however, your rest, your sentry's rest, is going to let you sort of aim your head in a certain angle. So what are you watching? What angle are you looking for? Towards
At the entrance.
The entrance to the. Okay. All right. So I will start by saying that none of what just happened between Darix and the Hound will be where your eyes are drawn to. Instead, from your perspective, standing there, is a dwarf clad in what seems to be like a very well crafted sort of what would you call it? The gear that someone might wear if they were a fine craftsman or smith. There's coal dust and little other bits and bobs of well-worn indicators upon the armor of the dwarf, and it looks towards you with a very warm expression. He's very stout. He's very warm-looking. Clearly a man who enjoys a good meal and a good drink, but also clearly one that's willing to take up a fight. And as he looks towards you at the entrance to this little inlet, you get the sense that he's not just looking at you, but perhaps that only you can look to him. And he says to you, "Well, lad, we finally reached some place I know." And you recognize that voice from anywhere. That's Gelter.
Hell yeah.
He takes a few steps in towards the water and then kind of like looks down at it with a kind of a comical expression almost. Apparently the cops don't like this part. And then he sort of tiptoes around it and says, "I wouldn't want to go disturbing those waters, eh?" And once he arrives by your side, he kind of like sits down and settles against the rock. And he looks over towards you and he says, "We're pretty beat up right now, you and I. But hey, everyone's still alive."
Am I like able to convey messages to him, like by thinking, or?
Seems like you can just talk.
Okay, I'll ask him if he could repair me.
He kind of gestures to himself and says, "Me, repair you? It's what I was bred for, I tells you. Let me have a look." And he kind of starts to look over your parts and your anatomy, and he's like almost whistling a short little tune to himself as he does so, but like it keeps interrupting his whistling with "ooh" and "oh," and then he goes back to it for a little bit, but then he's like, "Oh yeah," and then eventually he kind of like looks back up at you and he says, "Yeah, right, should be all set. Once we wake up, I mean."
I'll say thank you and ask him why I can see him.
Well, that one, I don't know. But I tells you, this place, it's got some kind of energies about it. Seems to tap into the spirits and what they want. And I think I'm a spirit. I mean, I'm certainly not you. No offense.
If the spirits want something, do you want something?
Well, we've had a little deal. I want some same thing I was always after in life, you see. A glory over the silly buggers that decided to venture up here instead of where we was from, of course. And you get the sense that he's referring to that deal that he struck with Blink some time ago, back when you were still in the cellar of the dwarves.
I forget what that was.
Oh, basically that Gelter's from Kernia and the dwarves here are from Ronsa, and it's like some weird dwarven feud. Blink agreed to like let him get one over on the Ronsa boys by like finding information about it, basically. And then in exchange, he would teach Blink how to make guns.
Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Guns.
He goes, oh, good.
Yep.
Astroium will say that he'll help Gelter any way he can.
You're a right lad, you are, Astorium. I couldn't ask for a better host. And then he kind of looks around and he says, you know, especially some of these big eyes, present company excluded.
Is he talking about the guys in the room, or?
He said big guys, and then he excluded the big guys that are in
big
this
company.
room. So, who else is big?
That's scary.
Bane is big
Yeah, for you.
for you.
Vina is not having a good time.
I can't believe he's talking about Norath.
I'm fucking 7 feet.
No, I mean, I can't believe,
No,
I can't believe you just got roasted by a spirit, bro.
Spirit
No,
roast.
Norath totally agrees. He does not want Avina in here in his head because he feels bad for Avina.
Yeah, there you go. So,
Yeah, you don't want to read what's in there. You might come out traumatized.
so basically, Gelter seems pretty like relaxed at this moment, and he's just kind of staring towards the pool, and he's like, "Well, I'll tell you what, you find a spirit, you just invoke me, right? It takes some effort to be out there and monitoring everything. That's why I'm not always at your beck and call when you might need me, but maybe I can help translate, you know, between the living and the dead."
That would be cool. I will definitely invoke you, however that works.
My wife would say my name 3 times in the mirror.
I will find a mirror.
Ah, you can just stick to the name 3 times. But hey, mirror would be cool.
Is anyone bald?
Yeah, Ludman. Oh, wait, no, he's not bald. Fuck. No. There goes that one. I guess maybe Blink is bald. Does he Blink have hair in his Blink form?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, he could become
That's
bald.
the thing is that he has like the tree hair, the vine hair.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, you could become bald to
I could.
become a mirror.
I could just turn into Astorium and he'll say,
That's a mirror, yeah.
Ah,
that's the mirror. And he'll say, Gelter, Gelter, Gelter.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll see about that one. If does Ashtorium have anything else to say to Gelter or ask him or anything? Or is it just rest time?
I think it's rest time. Astroium can't think of anything. He's not.
Astorium
as
sleeps
serious
hard.
as Blink.
That's right. That's right. Okay. So with that, we will invoke Ro for a time as you've been laying down. Are you just straight up going for the rest? You're just gonna. You're just
yeah, I think
relaxing?
that's
Yeah.
initially what he's gonna do.
Okay. Well, why don't you do your short rest thing in your character sheet? That'll burn through
Okay.
your hit dice. You can decide. You're probably going to want to expend all of them.
Yep. Short rest,
So,
and then we're gonna hit roll, right?
Yep.
There you go.
So that was 1 hit dice, so that's going to be plus 14. And then I think you can do the other one if you want to, or you can... Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right, pretty close to max health after that short rest. That works out.
Nice.
Okay, Ro.
Then I'll hit the rest.
Wait, he just got
Yep.
25 health back?
Yep.
Yeah, 1d12 plus 2.
I
So-
don't know if I have 25 health.
No, I don't know if you...
I have 13.
Rogue time. Okay. Ro, you have, you come to after your rest feeling remarkably refreshed. And, like, it might have been, honestly, some of the greatest sleep that you had, despite the fact that you were very, very wounded and closer to a demise than you ever thought possible. The reason why I say that it's the greatest sleep you've ever had, or up there with it, is because when you do finally awake, there's almost like what in any other time would be a very unsettling quiet within your mind, is now like a more, a very welcome silence. The howling and the cacophony that is normally an ever-present backdrop to your day-to-day conversations and activities seems to have been dulled, perhaps even silenced, but not in an aggressive manner, as if pacified, as if relaxed. And you awaken feeling much renewed, seeing
Okay.
Ashtorium and Darix resting as well.
I think Ro is probably gonna want to reach out to the spirits within him,
Mhm.
and like because he's a little concerned with them being this quiet for this long, right?
Well, they respond to your presence with an acknowledgement, but they definitely seem very subdued, and in a sense that they seem relaxed and it's definitely weird because you've never experienced the spirits being abated or quenched in
Right.
their, and their thirst has
Like
never
they
slaked.
feel
you know?
almost as if they're at peace.
Yes, yeah, it's a strange thing, and you get a sense that it would not last, but that for now, this moment, they are at peace.
Okay. With that, he's gonna probably just continue to relax since, he doesn't get to do that a whole lot.
Yeah. That's pretty good indeed. Well, while you are relaxing and while the others are resting, there is something that I think you'll be very pleased with, is a sudden, but not so sharp disturbance in the waters. As well, is it really much of a surprise? Maybe not, but you'll hear a very distinctive "Quack." As emerging from the waters is a chicken. A familiar-looking chicken, actually.
Chicken, what are you doing here in this pool?
It will come to the dry stones and begin sort of pecking at them as if searching for food, and then kind of walk around a little bit, kind of strutting around. Maybe it pecks at the bones of that skeleton up there a little bit too. Just generally being a nuisance, as chickens sometimes are.
Chicken, what are you looking for?
Just kind of continues wandering around. It doesn't. It knows that you're there. It has looked at you, but it after kind of cocking its head to one side and otherwise just it continues sort of like wandering, but it never goes too far. It seems to be sticking
it knows
to
not to
the
leave the chamber.
yeah. It seems to be sticking to that area.
He's just trying to provoke me, or what?
He's just hanging. It's
He's just
for
being a
some
chicken.
reason the presence of a chicken does not make you feel angry or anything. You're very relaxed still. Maybe it's the water,
Okay.
or maybe it's
Ah.
the room or something. But You know, you don't feel the usual chicken rage like the one
chicken rage?
earlier. Yeah. So it's just kind of hanging out there.
Okay. Well, Ro's gonna lay back down then.
Okay. And you'll probably lose track of exactly where the chicken is, but you'll occasionally hear it, even if you close your eyes. So it'll just kind of be doing its faint sounds, yeah. And I think this is probably a good time to have Darix also and Ashtorium also roll their long rest hit dice thing, or short rest hit dice thing. So if you guys can go into your character sheets and click the short rest button and decide how many of your hit dice to expend, that would work out fantabulously.
Where is that again? I'm sorry, I forgot.
You open your character sheet, next to your level at the top right, there's a bunch of things, including like a star icon. Then you go to your long rest, and then short rest is that one, yeah.
Rest, yeah. There was no dice. Where's the dice?
Oh, it seems that it didn't refill your hit dice. Let me fix that. Okay, so now you can go to your hit dice and...
Oh, that's because he didn't technically get a full long rest before. Darix.
Oh, okay. 11.
That's right, it automatically applied. That is true,
Okay.
Baelithal, but somehow he has hit dice.
There you go. That's fine. I'm not complaining. I'm just that's
No,
why
that is that is a valid point. But somehow he has hit dice. Wink.
the chamber.
Okay, so
It's because of the chicken.
it's because of the chicken.
That's right.
Blink, as you disappear through the cave, a strange feeling will overtake you, as if you've been, shall we say, as if you've suddenly been, like, kind of submerged in some kind of strange liquid. Your normal reaction would be to be quite upset by this and maybe even panicked, but there's a calming effect, a soothing effect that comes over you, and soon you emerge from the waters surrounded by friends and a chicken. Obviously your torch has gone out, though. And it's about this time that Silas and Narath will also return from their waltz.
Blink is gonna come through the water, and he's gonna observe his surroundings, and he's gonna step off, and he's gonna say, he's gonna say, "Well, I hope everyone slept well. And where did you get this one?" As he looks at the chicken.
It came from the pool, just as you did. How did you manage that, by the way?
I went through a cave. Maybe the chicken did the same. And then he'll turn back to the chicken, and he'll bend down and he'll go, "Did you get lost in the cave, chicken?"
Coming in, Narath says, "Well, you'll have to post a watch then on that pool, if it can serve as an entrance. There's still an undead abomination running around."
Do I see the orc? I'm assuming.
Yeah, Silas is also
he's
assisting.
over my shoulder.
Yeah, so there you go.
Narath
Orc is
just
going
walks
to
in and
look at
triggers
the idiot
wall.
orc, and he's gonna look at the lizard, and he's gonna say, "You know, I swear I killed that thing, and somehow you seem to have it instead of the blue draconin."
Oh, if you saw her, then you must have seen the Blue Draconian. Where is it so I can retrieve it?
I'm sure you'll find it.
I'm sure you'll.
Roll a deception.
No, I don't think that is deception. I think that's just.
I'm not lying. I
Norath
genuinely think
puts the orc against the wall here and says, I'm sure I will. Although alive is the question. I will find a way to interrogate this one, speaking common or not.
I
The orc's not-
sincerely doubt that.
Is the orc still asleep?
The orc is,
Turning
yeah,
to,
it's magically slept, so I think. How long does sleep last for?
1 minute.
Yeah, it's not that long.
No. Yeah,
I
just
think
probably
we were
something
going to
about
losing its mind when it saw me. That's what I was expecting.
Is there no rule for overdamage?
No.
I guess not, huh?
I'd just say
It's
that
al- it's
she was
always
that
1 minute.
tired from being passed out, then once the adrenaline was gone, she just went to bed.
Yeah, it's
it
until
was on
the,
fire.
until the
So-
spell ends, the sleeper takes damage, or someone uses an action to wake the creature.
Well, in that case, she's going to have woken up along your journey, but mostly just struggled in vain. Kind of like how Fiona struggled against Shrek in Shrek 1.
Wow, that's
Imply
that's
that
deep.
I'm going to become this creature's.
I'm glad to know that this has layers to the onion.
Narath's onion is very layered and also rotten.
Yeah. So, putting the creature down, Narath will look at her, see if she tries to do something stupid, like I have her, like, her hands bound
Yeah.
behind her
Yeah,
back,
she's been
her
struggling
legs
visibly.
tied, you know, like,
She's been very
she's
much
very
testing the restraints, the integrity of the restraints the whole way through, but the testing seemed to have come to a close as you walked towards the pond, and now that you've set her down, she seems to be like breathing more steadily and just kind of just a bit more relaxed somehow, but she's still got an angry expression on her face. And she's not struggling
Do I have something
anymore.
to write with?
What'd you say?
Do I have something to write with or draw?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure somebody in this party has a pen and ink, but I don't know about you.
Probably Silas, I would guess, would make
Yeah.
more sense.
I do.
You have your blood around.
Yeah.
Ah,
Narath
yeah.
will say, does anyone have a pen and ink?
Don't look at me. I never write.
I'm afraid
Dark
I-
does. Dark does.
Oh, well, I won't
Does
say
Blake
anything.
still have that chicken cage?
Yeah, you still have the
Because,
chicken cage. Didn't you
Dark
keep
is
it
an
on?
he's an
Yeah.
iconographer, so.
I'd like
there you
to.
go.
Did anyone volunteer it?
I'd like to becken
Yeah.
the chicken over,
Dark's volunteers. Whatever.
and then
Alright, so
he's gonna
Narath
put the
walks
cage down.
over and takes the pen and ink.
The chicken enters the cage without incident and continues to.
All right, he'll leave him in the cage, and then he'll go to Astorium and talk in Thieves' Camp.
Yeah. So you've got the paper and or the writing supplies, shall we say there, Shamblu?
So, Narath will say, I doubt the beast can write, but it's worth a shot. So, holding the pen and ink in front of her, like this, he points to to her hand restraints, and then tries to read her facial features if she understands.
Darks will scratch the back of his scaly head, wondering why they have an orc captured.
You can always ask that question.
No, he knows better than to ask such questions.
Well, I do
Hey.
believe we were told not to kill them inside the cave.
Yeah, Ludman said it would be a whole different problem if she died.
Well, while in the cave. He didn't care if
Yeah,
we took her out of
so
the
he-
cave and then killed her.
Yeah.
Narath will gladly kill this filthy greenskin, just to, once he's gotten what he can out of it.
Well, You indicated her arm restraints. Is that what you did?
Yeah. Like he held up like the paper and the pen in front of her, like, see?
Yeah.
And then pointed towards her hands that are bound. And then he looks her in the eye, like, you get it?
Her face doesn't belie any particular expression, but her mouth opens and that same brutish tongue it falls out of her mouth as she says, "Bitulak ding bandaba." You don't understand it.
Is there any sigils on
I'm guessing
the,
she only
on the
speaks
Elven
Orcish.
ritual book I have here? Or on the Aurora letter? Like the sigil of Aurora or anything?
Yeah, there's like a, what would you say, like a signature or whatever of one of the elf lords, so that might work. That's on the Alara letter.
Okay. So Narath will venture over to the she-orc, and he will set her hands loose, but he will hold them there if she tries to, like, scramble to do anything stupid.
Okay, so you're just trying to show her the sigil of the Alara lord.
Oh no, yeah. He wants to get her to try and either draw or write something in a second.
So you are going to actually
guess-
get rid of it. Okay.
Yeah, because her legs are bound, right? And so he's gonna, but she needs to have her hands free to do anything. So she sat down. She's not much of a threat. So okay. So, were there any banners of like the elves that I saw on my travels around here?
Banners on.
Yeah, just a general symbol.
Yeah,
of the
like
elves
there's
in the
like
Elven
the
Crescent.
there are like, you know, family sigils that you can recall. So you could probably draw one of those from memory. At least like well enough. Yeah.
He would also like to draw a symbol of the humans as well. And then he would just draw a very rough picture of dwarves. It's like a picture, his rendition of a dwarf.
Gotcha. Maybe a
He's
crude
gonna draw them
depiction.
all on a page.
Okay. How are you showing them all one by one, or what exactly are you? Are you doing?
Yeah,
them
let's
all
do it one by one.
Okay.
So he'll do one. He'll do the elf one first, and he'll point at it to see her reaction.
She looks at it, and at this point, the confusion is visible upon her face. She then looks at you and says, "Kakaole."
So he will point at himself, and then he'll point at the elven thing, and then scratch it very violently in an aggressive motion.
She
And
chortles.
then he'll point to her.
She sort of chortles as you gash the drawing that you had done. And then when you point at her, she seems to take it almost as a threat. She falls silent and stews at you, just kind of glares at you.
He'll draw it again, and then
Okay.
point at her, and then point at the thing.
You just get another "Kakaole" out of her.
So
She's very
saying elf,
confused.
probably.
Okay.
She's
Okay.
she
So-
doesn't seem to comprehend what you intend.
He'll draw the symbol of the humans now, and point at it.
Ro shakes his head in disappointment.
Well, as you draw the human symbol and show it to this orc, she'll at first go to, like, her confusion still hasn't left her face, so at first you think you're about to get another reaction, and then there's a little bit of, like, maybe familiarity, some kind of realization as she sort of, like, lets out a low growl and nods and looks back at you with some, like, fervor burning within her eyes. Like she's recognized. You've seen plenty of times people recognize something of their enemy, and that's kind of what it looks like to you.
Okay, so just to verify, Narath will point to her, then point at the thing, and then he'll imitate the violent scratching motion, but not actually do it, right? Like he'll just sort of make it look like, yeah, you would do that, right? To the human symbol.
Well, I don't think she's gonna understand quite that well.
She kind of like furrows her brow, but she just kind of, she doesn't have a verbal response to this one. She's confused, but she's still very much like keeps like looking at the sigil or what have you.
So then he'll show her the dwarf. Actually, I want the dwarf symbol to be the symbol of these dwarves. They had to have had a symbol on the...
Yeah. There's like a crest on the entryway to the tavern. You could draw that.
So he'll show her that now.
Okay. So, Silas, what are you focused on during this exchange with Narath? Rose obviously looking over the prisoner exchange here. Narath is trying to do script reading stuff, and Darix is just like, what the hell? But I want to know if Silas is paying close attention or is disaffected or anything like that.
I guess if there were any moments where the now prisoner was kind of calm, Silas would be looking over them to see if they had any wounds or anything that he could do to help stabilize them.
Despite the besides the burn marks, right? Like there's not much there, but there's there don't seem to be any like flesh wounds upon the orc's person. It's all just the fire singeing. However, there is something that's a bit peculiar about the way that her armor seems to have been cut in a few places, as if by a blade. I will ask you for an investigation check. Ooh,
Savage.
that is very savage. Okay. All right. So for now, that's all you're noticing right in this moment is that there's cuts, but there's no wounds behind them. So maybe a bunch of glancing blows, perhaps. But you've seen one of those kinds of things. The occasional single glancing blow, but to have so many seems to draw your attention at first.
Well, not understanding whatever that is about, Silas will take a free piece of cloth, or perhaps a piece of his own investments, and he will cast the mending spell to demonstrate that he can reconnect the objects and show it to the orc. And then he will try to gently reach out to cast mending upon their garments and armor to repair it.
Okay, interesting. So as you mend your own clothes directly, your vestments directly in front of this orc, whilst she is otherwise being entertained by Narath's drawings and depictions, she turns towards you to take a look at what you're saying, and then as you gesture towards her clothing, her brow furrows, but she doesn't make a move to stop you. And when you do when you do end up resting your hand, which hand are you using? Are you using the one that has the mark of Savras, or are you using the one that's not had that? Or are you using both hands? What do you like?
Which hand had the mark again?
I think it was your right hand, if I'm remembering correct. I have it written down somewhere.
I'm gonna say he reaches with the non-marked hand.
Okay. As you do that, your hand connects her clothing, and she sort of gasps as she feels this magic close some of the holes in her cloth. And then, Narath, as you're busy trying to sketch a response, you swear you notice something on the back of this orc woman's neck, shrouded by her hair. Some kind
Narath
of
will-
marking or sigil. Speaking of all of the drawing you're doing.
Narath will grab her shoulder, stop her from turning, and then pull her hair back to see, not to hurt her, but to see the symbol.
Yeah, brush it aside or whatever. Narath, you were halfway through drawing your own patron's simp mark, but as you do that, and you stop what you're doing and you take a look, you'll actually recognize this symbol.
Oh God.
This orc is marked with the symbol of Sazarin.
What?
Narath will say to Silas, "You, my friend, it seems things got a lot more complicated."
How so?
She bears your mark upon her neck.
What? Let me see.
She's protesting profusely as you constantly relocate where she's looking at to show Silas the mark.
To anyone slightly paying attention, Blink and Astorium's clicks will abruptly stop, and Blink will go to leave with Astorium following him, and he's going to take the chicken on his way out.
And at the same time, Ro waves to the orcish woman as she's being turned each way.
So Rose looking at the orc mostly. Is Darix
yeah.
also examining this?
No, Darks is he is paying no attention. He's just praying.
There you go. Had a boy.
Yeah, he's taking this quiet opportunity to just disconnect from reality.
Eric thought I was gonna torture these poor prisoners. Meanwhile, I'm just playing charades with them.
Yeah.
It is still very silly.
When I lied to him later about what I'm gonna do to my other prisoners, well, I should have advantage. But so Silas gets a look at the symbol, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, suggesting I get a good look at it.
It
Silas
is for
will look-
sure the symbol of Sazarin. It matches the one on your hand.
He will look a bit surprised and gesturing for you to gently set the orc down. Silas will try to gather their attention and raise his marked hand and gesture towards it as he makes eye contact.
Jebengan Don Savras. Her eyes are wide as she looks upon you.
He knows Dobra.
Someone who's not me inside, if she's if that was a positive intonation or
It's
I
like
fucking hate you.
shocked. Like
I'd
in
assume
disbelief,
if
yeah.
she disliked Sazarin, she wouldn't have his symbol on her neck.
You never
well, she could
Unless
be
you were
a
a slave, I guess,
that
but
magically enslaved to Sazarin.
The Sazarin, yeah, but the followers of Sazarin don't strike me as the type to enslave people.
Silas doesn't know of any orders of Sazarin that have magically enslaved people. I suppose it doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's impossible. You know.
I mean,
This is
has he
indeed
heard of any
unusual.
orders of Sazarin that employ orcs?
Yeah. That's true. He doesn't know of those. And Silas comes from the south, right? So he would have seen orcs, run into orcs. He never would have encountered an orc that was in service to Savras. So this is definitely a first for Silo.
Yeah.
I don't have a magical means of understanding this orc, but I am willing to try something. And Silas will, with the hand that is marked, reach gently towards the orc's forehead, and in a moment, pressing it upon them, will activate his channel divinity.
Well, surely if she is a follower of Savras, she must speak some language other than Orcish. Has anyone tried to speak to her in Elven?
Channel divinity.
So, as his palm presses against the orc's forehead, Silas will experience the arcane vision and look for any sort of connection in that moment of knowledge.
Interesting. Okay, so as you connect with the arcane weave that binds all magic users and their representative abilities, there's a the presence of being regarded by an enormous and unknowable, like the sensation of being regarded by an unknowable, timeless, ageless figure. This enormous presence you have now felt, you can say with confidence, more than once, as what you suppose must be the being that is Savras has once again passed its gaze over you. Its unrelenting might and magnitude spreads across you, leaving you numb in your corporeal sense, but very much alive, your spiritual senses activating in full. As you experience this arcane vision, there's a bizarre revelation that startles you. The presence that looks upon you is a singular eye upon an enormous beast of a man. A warrior so powerful in presence and in posture that it looks to have been quite a titan to bring down. And yet you get this sense that indeed this warrior was brought down. Your mind recalls knowledge that you have about orcs and their spiritual practices, their devotion to a being known as Agatokth, the One Eye. This creature was felled long ago, and yet ascending to godhood in what might have been its final moments, you now have realized that a piece of it lies within every god. This is information that has been given to you, and thus this information must have come from Savras itself, proving to you that that Savras may indeed have a reason and have a way with bringing even orcs into the service, into the fold of the Order.
Interesting.
Very interesting. In response to this, after a moment of silence and contemplation, Silas will attempt to speak the word Savras in each of the languages that he knows to see if he indeed has any means of communicating with this orc.
The orc, as you begin to rattle off the various versions of Savras, the orc attempts to, her eyes are like staring, boring into yours, and then she, in an attempt to get your attention, closes one eye tightly, but still regards you with expectation almost, with her other eye.
Considering this a symbol of the Eye of Sazarin, Silas will simply nod, and then he will place a hand over his heart.
I think she wants you to close your eye too.
That's how I would interpret it, but that's fine.
Place a hand
He's the
over
one
your
who's an
heart.
expert in Savras.
Yeah, he's the
Place your hand
Sazarin.
over your eye.
I would feel like if
There you
she had communication magic, she would have used it by now.
Yeah, no, she
but
doesn't have
maybe you unlock
communication
something.
magic. I assume she must speak something other than Orcish. Otherwise, how did she become a follower of Savras?
Narath will pipe up and say, "Is there a common priestly tongue within your order? Or even a magical writing system?"
Well, I've tried communicating the word of Savras through Celestial, which should be common to any learned cleric, but I'm not sure how deep the studies of orcs go.
I can't believe he's a bird.
The actual fuck do I have? I see. If I level up, I could fucking take something.
Can we get Ludman to speak to her in Dwarvish, maybe?
Does anyone speak Dwarvish?
Ludman.
Not any of us. I'm
Well,
pretty sure
our
only
dwarf
Ludman does.
friend
Yeah.
who has disappeared speaks Dwarvish, but
Yeah.
Well, he went to
For shits and
consult the
giggles.
spirits off to the side, so he went back to where you fought the great beast, you know?
So,
For shits and giggles, Narath will say in Draconic, "There's no fucking way you understand this."
Yeah, I know she speaks Draconic.
Well, you're addressing her clearly with it, though?
Yeah.
Okay. She looks back at you as you address her and responds with what you swear is the draconic word for wardrobe. But must have been a coincidence because she just then goes, Bekendikan Dizembe. You got faked out. You thought she
while
spoke
this
Draconic.
entire ordeal is going on, Darks will grab the chicken and just put it in his lap and pet the chicken.
No,
Wow.
I took the chicken.
Oh, you took the chicken? Never
Wardrobe.
mind.
Did you take the chicken?
Yeah, I said I'd take the chicken before I leave.
Oh,
I didn't know
I
you
know,
took the
I know you were very busy with the idiot threes, but
Yes, yes. Darks is literally just like, while the three
You are all
Stooges are
alone, yeah.
doing things.
you can grab the dog and pet the dog.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the dog won't let Darks pet it.
Alright.
He gets
So
upset.
Narath will
You wanna try
untie
anyway?
her hand bonds.
Yeah,
and
he wants to try and pet the dog.
Okay. You pet the dog. The dog seems to allow the pets this time, but the light does begin to flicker. Which, by the way, none of the rest of you will know why it's doing that.
Narath will untie her hand bonds and give her the pen and paper.
Darks will tell the dog that he's a good boy, and he will help him move on wherever that may be.
The dog seems to wag.
Happy dog. That makes Derek's happy. Derek's is happy now. Happy dog, happy Derek.
The orc scowls now being equipped with these new implements. She looks up to Ro and erupts in a tongue that is clearly not like familiar to her, but it's like broken. It's clearly not very very elegant. Not that the language ever is, but maybe Ro is biased. As she says some bizarre barks and yips and growls that Ro alone understands, sort of.
Is there a written form of that language?
Nope.
Nope.
A bunch of fucking feral savages.
Okay, so what does she say? For some reason I don't understand it.
Oh, that's funny.
It's as broken
Can't
as
read.
Oh,
life.
never mind. I got it. I wonder why it won't let me override that, but hold on. I'll fix it. I wish I could whisper just to you. I don't know how that works. Alright.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a little silly.
There you go.
Okay.
While they're doing that, Darks will get up because he wants to check on the dwarf. And
Okay.
while he does, he turns and sees them putting stuff on the orc and everything.
Yes.
And he sighs and says, "Why are you playing dress up with the orc?
Dress up. We didn't change the orc.
Aren't you guys like putting things on her and everything?"
No, you have not been paying. We fixed her clothes with mending magic,
Oh,
and then we gave
okay.
her a pen and paper.
I see.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
quill and
I don't know why I
parchment.
thought you put something on it. Okay.
Yeah, we.
Or I must have misheard.
Did Slipter
The rat,
say anything
player
in
of dolls.
response?
Yeah, he will just like raise a scaly eye ridge at whatever they're doing and like. ask
Well,
the
you'll
dog
note
to
that Ro
follow
is
him.
actually speaking to her now.
Okay. Darks is gonna try and get the dog to follow him. Maybe he doesn't know if he can, but he wants to try.
Okay, well, when you turn back to look for the dog, it has vanished.
Aw.
It's a very
As he
slippery
was
dog.
gone.
Darks just wants a friend.
It's true. You don't even remember falling asleep, let alone waking up in the middle of your prayer. And now you don't even have your
Going to
dog.
inform us of his beautiful
Very sad.
conversation. We have communication.
Oops,
We've
I didn't mean to put that in
achieved
Gogrish.
broken English.
How do I translate that? I guess I can't.
How do I You should be able to hit the 3 dots and be like, change language.
Yeah, I know.
It's okay, I read it on stream.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so you're out looking for Ludman. You'll find him. What exactly are you... oh, I see. So, what exactly are you, you do as you find the man? He's kind of just, relaxing a little bit, it looks like. He's standing, but he's kind of got his hands on his hips. He's looking back and forth between the 2 cavern entrances. And then when he sees you come up, he says, "All right, how you doing, lad? Looking a lot better."
Yes, the spring pond has something special about it. It is touched by the star. He stops for a moment, and then he relaxes and finishes the Starfather. Have you communed? Have you a better understanding of the matter at hand?
Aye. You see, I was out here looking, waiting, expecting. I feel like surely she'll be here by now, but some of these spirits, they aren't the most punctual types. I also don't know where they're coming from, so that doesn't help.
Yes, well, this area does seem to have a limited space to which we could traverse. We know that these tunnels take us within the same area over and over again. Say, do you know anything of the canine spirit?
Ah, shit, I said it in Gogrish again.
You're good at that.
There you go. Okay. So you said, you asked him about the spirit of the hound. He'll say,
Yeah.
yeah, right. That unlucky son of a gun, he, well, things could have been better for him, but, you know, he's alright. He's a good boy.
What happened?
Cave in, I think.
I see. Is there any way to... How does one help an animal spirit?
Oh, no. That's no animal.
Pardon?
He was a dwarf. He just picks an animal to be. Sometimes.
Druid dwarf?
Why does he do this?
Well, why let dying kill what you were good at during life?
Darks will raise a very quizzical eyebrow at this. I think I understand. He doesn't understand. He scratches his scaly throat with a claw. It looks very perplexed by that. We must help all of them. Yes, before we can leave. That is our
Aye.
moral duty.
And not only that, but it's the only way out of here. You see, I'm getting the itinerary from the big boss, but if he doesn't show up anytime soon, we might have to keep looking ourselves. Seems we've satisfied 3 spirits so far. Maybe more. I don't know what the others have been up to.
Oh, big boss?
Yeah. Well, he's kind of a imposing figure.
And he's supposed to come here.
That's right. Should be arriving, well, any time now.
Okay, and he will do what?
Well, hopefully talk to me. If I wind up unconscious somewhere, just drag me back to the pond, will you?
Dark sighs. As you will, bearded one. As you will. Where did the cave-in happen? Do you know?
The Ludman is like kind of pensively, like you can tell he's trying to recall.
Oh, okay.
And he's trying to figure out exactly what he does know about this situation.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, the orc is furiously recounting as much as she can in this unfamiliar tongue. It sounds even dumber than it reads. Okay. Ludman is about to answer your question when suddenly...
Ah! The big boss. Ah!
An imposing-looking, skeletal, well-armored figure wanders through one of the caverns, and in doing so, is indeed quite an imposing figure, except Darks is still like 3 feet taller than it.
Darks will nod and look at Ludman. This is Big Boss?
Mate, don't say it to his face. What's left of it.
Oh.
What's left?
He does not like being. That is not his title.
Mate, how you doing? How you getting? The skeletal spirit looks straight down towards Ludman with like an accusatory look, something that Darix may have only seen when like a stern look of like discontent from like maybe a some kind of teacher looking at an annoying pupil that is late for class for the last time or something like that, you know, that kind of vibe. Somehow that is communicated despite the creature being, well, it is missing at least a third of its jaw, and it's clearly past. So it looks towards you, Darix, for all but a moment before fixating its gaze upon Ludman and says, like, you know, seemingly attempts to address him. But no words come from its desiccated jaw. As you've come to expect from these spirits, there's really no possibility of communing with them directly without some kind of magical means. And Ludman will say, right. Well, watch my back, will you? And without even waiting for Darix to respond, Ludman will extend his hand, his oversized mitt, up to the skeletal spirit, and place it upon the mangled jaw of the creature. And there will be like this brief flash of light, and you know, the light itself will flicker in a pretty telltale manner, actually. And Ludman will just sort of hold it for a moment. It looks like it's whatever is happening is requiring some effort and perhaps physical strain.
Darix has no idea what to do, but he presumes that Ludman does know, so he will watch intently, but not anxiously.
Did you have no response to Splinter? You?
He just sent me the thought of a dog and a chicken, and I was waiting for Astorium to speak to Gelter, even though I don't know Gelter's here. But I figured he would have been speaking to him while I was talking to Splinter.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had any other reaction or whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm just waiting on Astorium. You?
I think he's typing.
I'm here.
Not you.
Not you.
Other you. You though. I mean, Ro is in heated conversation with the orc, but seems to be attempting to simmer down. Narath has drawn his a strange and imposing-looking symbol. Are you doing anything with the limited information you have gleaned so far?
Still following up on if I know anything at all that might help me communicate with it.
Nothing with orcs, but since Ro has achieved some kind of speech with it, it seems that you could probably talk with Ro, you know, looking for answers. He's, the two of them are kind of locked in an interlocution at the moment, but you could probably kind of butt in at some point, at any point, really, if you wanted to ask for clarification.
I'll take a moment to observe them communicating. Does it look like they're getting along at all? Like, do I get any kind of vibe from the communication?
Well, I don't think it's like violent or angry, but yeah, but I don't think we quite understand each other as of yet.
Is
Yeah.
Lucy awake?
I thought I saw him moving his mouse earlier. Yeah, he's here.
Yes.
Was he not
Is
on
he-
push to talk?
I don't know.
Or was
It
his
just-
audio not working? Oh,
Yeah.
you.
I don't know. Are you gonna type to Gelter?
Or are you going to talk to Gelter?
Is he gonna push to sleep?
Oh yeah, I was waiting for the row stuff to happen. I
Yeah.
got caught up in that.
Oh, he
that
was
happened to me as
spectating.
well, yeah. Yes, yeah.
While the orcs continue to Ashtorium alone, Gelter. Well, I guess what we'll say is Ashtorium is going to be speaking these out loud. Like, you're going to get the sense anyway that you have to speak them out loud, Ashtorium. So you can't just like think them at Gelter. So from Blink's perspective, Gelter is nowhere to be seen, but Ashtorium is speaking to the wall and addressing Gelter nonetheless. And Gelter will respond to Ashtorium, saying, "Oh, this one. He says that he was slighted in a past life by, you guys. Oh, yeah. I think he's all set. We already took care of this one."
Oh, I see. He doesn't see.
Well, definitely not, because this is Gelter, so.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. All the dwarves sound
Different dwarf. They all sound the same.
alike.
Dwarfism.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, why is Ludwig saying that?
All right, so we stood here for no reason.
Well, you
This
could
whole fucking thing.
maybe you could ask more questions than that.
Well, I can't ask anything.
Yeah, I know.
We'll see what Ashtorium has.
Yeah, from all you've heard so far is Ashtorium asking about the spirits' problem and how they help. Aye. You know, this one says that there's a druid loose within the caves, likes the water. Apparently, poor sap got killed in some kind of digging accident. Or maybe it was natural causes. The details are a bit hazy, but this fella here says that that druid boy has to be put to rest somehow. Maybe we can help him out.
The chicken's a druid. That is not the question to be asked.
Well, I mean, if you ate a chicken, maybe I could taste it. But I don't think you can taste it. Or maybe I couldn't taste it. No.
Blink is going to ask Ashtorium what Gelter is saying. Because he's presuming that Ashtorium is talking
He
to
says
Gelter.
there's a druid that we need to help. The druid was killed in some kind of mining accident or natural causes or something.
Holding the chicken in his cage, he's going to look at the chicken, and then he's going to look at Ashtorium, and he's going to say, Is the chicken the druid?
Ashtorium will ask the chicken if he's a druid.
Maybe.
Blink is going to chuckle at this and then say, No, Ash, can you ask Gelter?
Can't Gilter hear everybody? Why does Ashtorium have to invoke him?
Well, Blink doesn't even know Gelter's there, so he just assumes you're talking to the wall, and Gelter is listening. So he would like a response.
Gelter looks right at you, Ashtorium, and says, "That thing's definitely not a chicken." The orc seems to fall silent as you say this, Ro. But
Okay.
Silas will hear his name invoked by Ro, and then the orc will say, "The condemn been Silas." And it's almost a little intimidating.
Blink is gonna look at the chicken and he's gonna ask it. He's gonna say, "Well, if you are a spiritual druid, how can we help you?"
My body was never found.
Okay, a couple questions. Is it possible you can lead us to this body?
I think so. But hold on. The chicken pushes its way out of the cage and blops onto the floor, and then kind of awkwardly steps and tumbles and wanders. And then before your very eyes, it seems to start to transfigure and transform.
Holy dog chicken.
That's a good thing to hover over. As it takes the familiar visage of a hound, it steps towards you and says, "Move!"
Well, that might make it easier. I was just gonna have you be louder and louder as a chicken until we got closer to your body. Like some weird game of hot and cold.
"Move! No! Me dog so I can talk easier. Oof."
I see. So, where do you remember your body being?
By the way, Silas, there's a chat message for you. I don't know if you're seeing it.
Oh, let's see here.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the hound responds. The chicken hound? The chicken hound responds, "Woof. My body was covered in rocks."
Does Silas recognize anything about this new name?
Can you roll a history check for me? The dice have not been kind to you, sir. It doesn't sound like the name of anyone you would know, but it also sounds like a miscommunication almost, like it's the wrong word. Or perhaps maybe it's a dialectic thing that...
Ro had considered that it probably was wrong because it doesn't sound right to him either.
Yes.
A man named Sternum.
Yeah. And that it, so hold on, let me read this here. Another cleric of Savras named Sternum. Okay, so, based on this, Silas, you come to the conclusion that orcs have weird names. And it must be that this orc is a orcish cleric of Savras. This person named Sternum. Must be that.
That is indeed an odd name, Ro. Are you sure you heard them correctly?
I can ask them again.
Let's ask them to confirm if that is right.
That history check from Blink is to see if he can remember any large piles of rocks that would be able to consume a body.
You remember journeying past one on the way to this cavernous entrance, but that was before you found out that the caves were magical, so you're not sure about the proposition of wandering back through the entrance.
Yeah, so it stands to reason that we probably don't have to go backwards.
Or that if you did, that would be a very difficult task.
Yes, yeah. Alright, Blake is rattling his brain, is gonna say, well, I'm afraid I don't remember any large piles of rock, but maybe walking through the halls of this cavern can jar your memory while I consult an inner monologue of mine to see if he remembers anything.
Oof. Okay.
You may lead, Druid. And as they begin to walk, if the Druid does lead, as they begin to walk, he will kind of, not absent-mindedly, but, half-mindedly consult Splinter to see if he can remember any large piles of rocks. Which may be trouble because he's a fucking bird.
Well, you are attached to Chicken Dog, so you can make him lead by walking. And Ashtorium can journey with you. And I'll get back to your quest as you come upon another one of those skeletal spirits.
Does it stand to reason that we should be stopping for every spirit, or should we be focusing on the Druid?
Well, you don't recognize these spirits standing vigil like this, and so if this one is like the other one, then maybe it's also quieted and calmed.
This is true.
Narath, I don't know if that's a good idea. What if the bad magic she was sent to destroy is you?
Then that will make Narath an instant ally of this woman. Yeah, also, you don't know what the context is for that.
Well, yeah. I mean, bro doesn't know.
Backstory
That
that
was
I'm not
out of
aware of.
character. No, I mean, he knows there's something weird up with you. I mean, a man doesn't just possess a chicken to speak with you for no reason.
That's a good metagame reason to know.
And worried
I mean,
we may
you can
have
roll a
walked past
perception or
any
something and see if you
potential
notice a certain piece of my kit that I imagine
points of
actually
interest.
would have this symbol.
Oh yeah, if you guys go back to like 11 o'clock on a clock. Yeah. And take there for a moment. So what did Narath do?
I drew a picture of my patron's symbol.
Right.
You know, his personal sigil. That would be the most common one. There's other symbols for other people who serve him, but his personal symbol, and handed it to Ro and told him to ask the orc if she recognized that.
And I said there's a non-zero chance the orc decides to kill
He said
Narath. Out of character, yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Like, yes, but not right now. In fact, I want you to kill me in these caves. Just after.
Yeah. Okay. So the orc does not. So Genra, as she's been identified to, Ro only. Although you'll hear that name, that word said twice, but whether it's of any significance to Silas or to Narath remains to be seen. Genra will look around at the depiction, and her brow will furrow, but she doesn't have an expected reaction of that she has seen this symbol before. There's nothing that's like a recognition of it, and she looks to Ro and speaks again in broken Gogrish, as she says, "Is this your second master?" And indicates Narath.
He is not my master, but we work together. Maybe a friend. I'm not sure, as things are complicated with him. However, he is very interesting. He asks many questions. I know not the importance of this symbol that he has drawn.
Symbol is imposing. She won't really say
Yeah.
imposing, but it'll be more like it'll be some broken translation
strong.
of that. Strong, scary, something like that. You know,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. She doesn't know the language, the word for imposing. If there even
Indeed.
is one.
Anyone who uses such a symbol is likely to be interested in intimidating others. I will have to ask him about this symbol another time. I think it is more important that we understand what is going on with you, Genra.
I am Genra. Sternum is second master. Sternum send Genra to kill bad magic.
Yes. So you have a very similar quest to Silas. And myself.
Bad magic. And she inhales sharply. Bad magic everywhere.
Indeed. We came across an entire mansion full of it yesterday. We slew many evil wizards, and lots of their undead and corrupted creations.
Genra's eyes widen a bit, and she says, "Bad magics in caves seem unknowable."
There is bad magic here.
How else you explain cave turn time back?
It turns time backwards. I have not experienced that one yet.
I take sword. Many time. Then through cave, no sword. And she gestures to her now mended clothes.
There is something peculiar about these caves. They do twist upon themselves, and they can separate individuals who are walking together.
She seems to mull this detail over a bit. Then, meanwhile, Ludman seems to have endured all he can from this unidentified spirit, and before your very eyes, Darix, Ludman is hefted by the great spirit and catapulted towards that cavern entrance due north. As he is sent through, he screams, "No! No!" and vanishes.
Ah, shit.
Dark groans.
It's like, fuck.
Darks looks not. No! No! You come back here. He said. Most uncouth, dishonorable. Why? Blast damnation. Starfather, give me patience. I assume that the skeleton disappeared He's gone.
Well, as you utter that last sentence, the dwarf spirit turns round. Rather, one arm of it emerges from the dark of the cave, this time much higher up than its stature would have implied, and it clutches upon one of your pauldrons, and with an unspeakable force roots you to the ground, as it utters within your mind, whispering something tantalizing, something so impossible. It says, "I have your offspring. They are to be safe. But you must serve the spirits once again."
That is why I am here.
Then
Now,
find the little one. Bring him to me again. I would throw him another time.
Just how in the blazes is that supposed to serve the spirits? Here we go. He has no idea why he would request such a thing. But yes, he just goes. He's like, well, I'm just gonna take a random cave and it'll take me somewhere and I'll find him wherever he may be.
All right. So meanwhile, all the way on the other side of the cave, Blink and Ashturium and Chicken Dog are sniffing their way through, looking for a potential site that would trigger any memories. Blink, you were inquiring from Slinter. What exactly were you asking him? Did he remember or see any cave piles or anything like that?
It was that. It was more so like, I think it would have been more general than that. It would have just been like, was there anything, any points of interest that you can remember that like weren't properly investigated by me, since I didn't even know he was alive?
Slinter will start sending you thoughts of a bird's eye view of the Sazarin Manor, and will indicate several parts of a tree copse that you never actually properly looked through for other birds.
Why is he bird mode? How did he even see a bird earlier? We've been in a cave for hours.
He was reading.
I can't believe he's bird mode. He's actually just going schizo.
He's not doing very well, that's for
My headmate is actually useful.
Yeah, this is true. My headmate's a bird though, so we call it even.
You know what they say about the canary on the mine shaft?
Yeah.
Blink is going to he's gonna try and thank Slinter, and he's going to insist that Slinter should rest with the utmost power of his mind, to the point where I will roll a persuasion roll to try and get Slinter to rest. If you so.
Yeah, let's do that. I thought you were rolling it automatically, sir. Ooh. Your words seem to comfort the wayward changeling, the ageless changeling, as it ceases squawking, and you're sent this thought of very comfortable, a weirdly comfortable looking bird's nest.
As long as he's sleeping. Alright, well. Splinter will not be as helpful as hopeful in the caves. So hopefully the dog knows where he needs to be.
Well, as you're walking past this little area, you can't help but notice a grim-looking visage staring out from the south cave. This creature seems to regard you in a different light. Where the others silently stood vigil, this one has its arms outstretched, as if beckoning you to step forward. And the chicken dog will say, "Ruff." Big guy wants to talk. This may come as a surprise to you, as this dwarven skeleton is probably only about 4 feet tall.
Yeah, but he's a dog, so it's kind of understandable. Blake will approach this big skeleton, not so big skeleton. And he's gonna say, "Well, how can we help?"
The spirit looks at you over, and oh, that should have been in common. Oh well, you can tell that to Silas.
Silas, I believe that she was attempting to say hello in common, if you can believe it.
Really, bro?
Indeed. She is desperate to be freed from her restraints so that she may hunt down what she calls bad magic in the cave. I'm unsure if she even knows what she's talking about.
Blink, seeing this gesture, is going to I can't believe you just called it a chicken dog. Is going to say, "Well, Druid, seems like it needs you." And that's you, actually.
What you want? Then the chicken dog seems to... Hey, let me see how do I do this. Yes. Chicken dog turns back to just a regular chicken.
Thought now he's a dog chicken.
Not yet. Holy shit, I almost made the chicken speak Gogrish. If you were going to say something, Three Crow, Key, and Silas, man, you can go ahead. Oh, never mind, Narath wrote something.
I guess I can't really communicate with the orc. So I don't have the means of bridging the gap. Silas was more or less just interested in whatever insights Bro had gained.
Yeah, Narath and Ro have been talking about what to do with the orc, as Narath is in favor of keeping the orc restrained, and Ro is attempting to keep the orc calm and explaining that the orc wants to be freed immediately.
Bro, are you able to communicate that? We would consider releasing the binding so she were to aid us in our efforts.
Well, Narath is not pleased with that, I don't think.
Yeah, Narath, he does, like, as I told Genra, he is not very trusting.
Something tells me her definition of bad magic and the dwarves is different.
Well, that may be true. I will try to ascertain what specific bad magic she is looking to destroy, but I'm not quite sure she knows.
Oh my god.
As they are
You
communicating,
can't just throw a chicken.
Silas will try to pick up on any particular, even if just like one or two Orcish words that might help him communicate in the future.
Got it.
Blink is going to say rather hurriedly as he walks, as he walks into a jog, into a run, into the cave into the north, he's going to say, Ash, stay here and figure out why the skeleton just threw that chicken. With Gelter's help, as he runs down the cavern.
As you do so,
After the
you
chicken.
I'm gonna need a dexterity saving throw.
I wish you could edit
Nat 20.
messages.
Eh. Well, you were about to run straight into an incoming projectile, but thankfully, you immediately dodged it. And instead of hitting you, Ludman flies out of the cavern and hits the ground and goes, "Oh."
Wait, is Ludman the druid?
No, he's a dwarf.
I love that's good.
Those
That's
those
an
things
amazing.
aren't particularly. I don't know if this would necessarily stop Blink. He really
Yeah, no.
is-
Listen, I'm not saying to
Yeah.
stop it. I'm just saying that's the thing.
Yeah. No, he would dodge and keep moving.
All right, there you go.
And it's going to be up to Ashtorium to figure out what the hell to do with Ludman.
Well, you will emerge on the opposite side of the cave. It's a somewhat familiar spot, and Darix is also emerged from his cave. So, isn't that funny?
Blink,
Oh,
as he comes out of the cave, is going to start calling for the chicken.
Darix, you will hear Blink calling for the chicken. He's,
okay, well,
the calls
he
are
doesn't wanna
coming
go
from
that
the
way.
east.
Okay, he ignores. Whatever, he's following the chicken again. He needs to find Ludman. So
Oh.
he's gonna go.
Well, that's great because you see Ludman on the ground in pain, and Astorium in the distance.
Okay, he will run up and he'll pick him up. Are you alright? Are you alright? I have good news and bad news, Spirited One.
Good news and bad. Yeah.
Blink is going to instinctively check the spot where the blue draconin was, because maybe the chicken got confused about which dead body was his.
Oh, that was really clever. Because the chicken's over there.
Wait, really? Oh my god! Dude, I'm so smart.
Yeah.
Talk about intuition. Talk about insight. He's gonna ask the chicken if he's okay.
The chicken barks and pecks at your feet.
Well, did you find yourself?
Bark. Nope. Maybe if he throws me again, though.
Do you know why he threw you?
I asked him to help me find my body.
Well then, maybe it's around here. There's plenty of bodies.
True.
The chicken begins kind of like wandering around and says, too many bodies, none of them mine.
Perhaps I can throw you through a cave.
Okay.
Okay.
He was way too okay with that. Alright, Blink's gonna pick up the chicken and throw him through this. He's not even gonna throw him. He's just gonna pick up the chicken. He's gonna say, change of plans. And then with the chicken in his arms, he's gonna start running through the cavern with the chicken in his hands.
Alright, before you went to do that, the chicken pecked at the lantern there and said, "Fork on."
What the fuck?
And then you scooped him up. So you can decide if you're going to keep doing that or not.
Wasn't these the lanterns that Ludman was like struggling with? This, like, couldn't get these to turn on to save his life?
Correct.
Blink's gonna look at the chicken and be like, how did you do that?
Dwarves can do that.
But we've been traveling with a dwarf and he hasn't been able to do it quite easily.
Oh. Well, did he do it a lot already? Well,
He did it a couple times, right?
yeah. At least 3.
Well, 2 or 3 times, probably.
Walk. Needs rest now.
I see.
It's a fucking ability.
Do these lanterns help us find you anyway?
Well, without lanterns, we won't travel right.
So should we go down this cavern now that the lantern is on?
Walk. Just think of where you want to go, and it will take you there. Walk.
So if I think of where your body lies, it will lead me there?
Walk. I tried that. Walk. You need to know where you're going. And it needs to be connected by a lantern. Walk.
Blink, thinking very hard. Maybe the hardest he's ever thought before. Is going to say, do you think I could deceive the caves into believing I know where your body is?
Walk.
You think I can slide to the game?
Walk.
Like, I couldn't hear what you said because Chambler was
I
speaking.
said walk. And then I said walk.
Oh. That's
I was going to say
Vital
something else,
information.
which was, well, I'd never tried that, so I don't know.
okay. Let's give it a shot. You think of the most you can remember of where you fell, and I will act like I'm reassuring you and believing in that. This will work. And then he starts charging through the cave. Do it.
Roll your deception check, because you think.
Oh my god! The caves are stupid, surely.
Well,
I'm sure the caves have like triple advantage or something.
don't worry. You got a fucking 23, buddy.
Yeah, I mean,
well, yeah, I know.
unless they get a nat 20, they're probably not beating you.
This is true.
All right.
Dude, I can't imagine a universe. Thinking as hard as he's ever thought.
Yeah, that was a big think. All right. So let's check back in with the homies by the pond. At this
You guys
point,
are stoned.
the Ro has said that she is not being compliant, very single-minded on killing bad magic, and is not giving any assurances that she will listen. So, what does Silas think
says-
about this? Since Silas was the one who asked about the, can we have any assurances that she'll play nicely and help or whatever? And apparently, she's
Yep.
single-minded on killing bad magic source.
Well, I guess because of the communication barrier, does Silas trust it at all based on what he learns from Ro, or is he just kind of flying blind here?
Well, you're picking up similar orc words that, at least orc words that seem to be related to you hear you hear several words repeated, including something that Ro repeated back, and those words you gather are based on the venom in Genra's voice, may have something to do with killing bad magic. So you trust that part is being communicated correctly. These are not orcish words, by the way. She is communicating in whatever Ro's language
In
is.
Gogrish.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know if Silas would know that about Gogrish because it was never. It's not
Yeah.
written, so I don't know if he would have encountered it. So to him, it's just
Right.
like a bunch of growls, barks, yips, and
Yeah.
weird
Some
canine noises.
Yeah. Animalistic,
Yeah.
feral dog
The baying
language.
of. Yeah, exactly.
What do you say, Ro? Trust it.
I think that if we release her, she will very quickly aggravate the spirits of this place. She refers to the dwarves as tiny men of bad magic.
Sounds
Then
like
she is a problem we will have to deal with later. If she will not cooperate, then we will simply knock her unconscious.
Uh-oh.
That Marath points his finger and the which turns black as pitch once more, and dark magic rolls around her. And then he hits her in the head to try and knock her out.
Ah,
Poor
with
orc.
advantage.
Poor orc.
that's right. Well, let's see your unarmed attack. It's just you can just roll a 2d20 and we'll pick the highest result.
No, that was. Oh, that's 13 and an 8, I guess.
Correct. But that still beats her AC, especially since she's partially restrained. So, I'm gonna do a.
I mean, we can just keep hitting her and just.
We is a strong word for this. I don't know if the other ones are.
Yeah,
similar.
I don't know.
Yeah,
All right, so she is definitely incapacitated after the blow. Your magic's aiding you in homing in on her, what you suppose is probably a vulnerable head after the smash into the dirt earlier. And it's a hard head, but you still manage to batter her enough to put her into an unconscious state. So, Silas and Ro, you just watched Narath knock this woman unconscious.
Narath, I don't think that was necessary. She was already restrained.
Agree to disagree, and then the Wrath will retie her hands.
Always a man of reason.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, always plays nice with others. Yep.
Yo, yes, very much.
Hey, I talked this woman out of being just killed outright, okay? So, and she was a servant of Sever. She's a good person. So
I thought it was gonna be like a thing where it's like she
Oh,
reached
we beat her.
0 and she had to be healed before she died, kind of like the Ironhead class.
Mm-hmm.
But then she didn't get healed, so she was not an Ironhead.
So yeah, Narath's now going to pick her up again and look at the two and say, well, we have done the best we can. Let us see about lighting these damn lanterns and catching up with the others.
See to it that you do not torture her any further.
Narath looks at Ro darkly and says, that was no torture, Papa.
Regardless, I think it's time we go talk with Ludman and Derex. I think he headed in that direction.
Dude, this is a great night. I literally lied to a cave.
Man.
Wait, did that work?
Well, he's gonna
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. I just rolled a 23, so something happened.
So,
Does Silas have much of a reaction, or does Silas have any particular thoughts about the fact that apparently an orc is serving Savras?
I mean, he's very curious about the nature of the relationship, but due to the lack of ability to gain any context on the situation, he's not like particularly moved one way or the other.
He didn't recognize the name of the master?
nope. But it's probably a mistranslation.
He does acknowledge the presence of the mark, and for that alone, he's like that's a tie for him to be interested and to want to learn more, but without a means of doing so, that's kind of difficult.
I'm talking about, like, she named a dude that sent her. Sazarin.
Yes, but he doesn't sternum.
It's literally just sternum, which is like a body part, right? So that's
Yeah.
an odd name for a human to have, since she also said that she looks like Silas. But Ro didn't tell Silas that part, so Silas thinks that that this guy's an orc, and they just have weird names.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Are there...
Yeah, maybe either a weird name or just a mistranslation or like lost in translation type of name.
Yeah.
While we're down here, Narath will activate this other lantern.
With your
the orc down.
with your hammer and all that.
Yeah, True Strike, Hammer. I won't put you through the sound again.
Yeah, you just roll with advantage. That's fine.
Is it a 20? What was the check we did again?
It was sleight of hand, so.
I get a minus on sleight of hand, I think.
What are these random enemies that have been all throughout the hallways?
The skeletal spirits are, you've encountered them a few times, and they haven't been hostile, but they've been, two of them, this one wasn't in the room to the south, but two of them were there during the big fight with the Bulette, where you remember what happened last time you got a nat 20, Shambler? Why would you do that again?
Why am I getting punished for succeeding?
Because you're not a dwarf.
he literally said only dwarves can enable them.
Yeah.
I'm a spiritual dwarf at this point with how I've been lighting these babies up. I will specify I put Genra down before I did this.
Yeah, that's right.
So I go flying.
No. You just... You might have summoned another digger. That's what happened the first time.
Praise be.
Why are you like this? Why are you like this?
What do you mean, why are you like this?
They,
We're not gonna
they
get
just,
by.
they just, enjoyed a lovely rest, and they're like, well, I guess we'll be going back there.
Yeah, they're ready to fight.
No, we're not. No,
Half the party isn't there.
You stupid mother! Oh my god!
They'll find a way over here. We'll run. That thing doesn't look like it's.
I can't. Stop,
It doesn't go
Father,
fast, it
have
only burns
mercy
for, like,
on
5
you. Genuinely, really, God have
Cut
mercy.
right straight through the walls.
Quick,
Not
run to the
another
nearest
digger.
cave and go.
There's not another digger.
No?
Roll for initiative.
Ruben specifically
Why?
mentioned that they
The
wanted
Slayer
the
appears.
one gone.
Why are you this way? Who hurt you?
All right. Well, You reckon it will take
Digger
some
twice
time?
the size appears.
Yeah, the mom of the previous Bulette Narath.
Yeah, twice as big and 3 times as angry.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll run into a cave. He'll teleport me somewhere.
right back to it. Okay, so
Well, then we'll face the Starfather happily, knowing that we died with honor.
so
you can talk to the Starfather. Darius is busy.
So,
From
like
the sound
Narath
of it,
would
I'll
ever
just
see
be
the
hanging out with the
Starfather.
dwarves forever. Me and Avina
yeah.
stuck around a bunch of hairy dwarves, like, hey.
So
Yeah,
there's a resonance from the lantern, and it certainly will draw Ro and Silas's attentions. You'll both immediately recall how the last time you heard that sound, a digger came by, and you'll probably reflexively look towards that section of the room and see Narath holding the hammer over it. So.
Narath, what are you doing?
He will respond, igniting the lantern, like I said.
Didn't the last time you try that, I almost died?
Yes, and it was the best tasting meal of your life.
That doesn't excuse the fact that I almost died. Also, Derux and Blink and Astorium are all not here. I don't think we'll win this time if another shows up.
You know, I
Woodman
can-
said that the spirits were angry about one digger, singular. Another shows, then we will simply run.
Yeah.
I can illuminate objects, Narath. If you needed a light, I could simply cast it upon something.
These lights are spiritual. They were meant to guide the spirit. They are meant to aid in the magics of this place.
Inside check.
Do it.
I think we should simply find Ludman, who seems to be able to ignite them without drawing the attention of large monsters.
You do that then. Me and New York will catch up.
Well, Silas, you seem to believe, Narath, that these lanterns have been imbued with some kind of special properties. But you're pretty sure he's not the person for the job.
If you think I am leaving you alone with the orc, you are a fool.
Well, we've known.
Well, then, you have no choice than to follow me. Lanterns and all. I do not mind the company.
Narath, must you always be this stubborn?
Yes.
Remember when
I'm
Narath said
105.
Blink was stubborn?
Narath will say, I am 105, Ro. I should have been dead over a decade. Over a decade past.
Yes, but that doesn't mean you have to kill the rest of us, you selfish fuck.
You're not here. Anyway,
You hear that
I do
through
not
the
care
walls
how
somehow.
ancient you be.
spiritually, Narath
Maybe.
knows.
Oh god, we're so dead.
That is no excuse.
We're never making out of this cave. We're so
You are
over.
intentionally endangering the rest of us.
As I said, the risk is minimal. Lodman spoke with the spirits, and the spirits said that there was
Have you
one.
forgotten that Slayer has transformed into an undead abomination? Could he not,
did not
hear
know
the
that the-
sound?
I did not know that the undead are summoned by the chimes.
What?
We can take on here.
Ugh.
As Narath
Trio.
finishes that sentence, there's an ominous clicking sound behind him. The light comes on.
See, I am the man for the job.
Oh god. We couldn't have gotten a more narcissistic teammate if we tried.
Good luck, boys.
Oh, why?
Hey, he's just gonna like.
This is what happens when there's nothing left to lose, baby.
What-
Dude,
no,
Narath
what
can
about
literally never complain about anything anyone ever does again.
Anyway,
And if
Well,
you
I
do,
hope-
you should be banned from
I
the
hope
club.
you
No,
die.
Narath-
I hope Narath dies.
anyway, Ro would like to to figure out where Ludman and Darix have gone, if that's possible.
You see, well, I'm gonna tell you that you already saw some fairly heavy footfalls imprinted into the dirt, and they were headed due north, so must have gone through that cave.
Okay.
Is Ludman okay?
Yeah, so Ludman is nursing his head. At one point, I sent a chat. I don't know if maybe I missed your response, but there was a point where he said, "Oh my head," and in response to what you said about having good news and bad news, he said, "What's your news?"
Well, one, the spirit spoke to me and gave me, perhaps a way to appease it. That's the good news.
Oh,
The bad news. The bad news is he asked me to bring you back there so that he could throw you again. Have you perhaps invoked the ire of this spirit in some manner, bearded one?
I never was a very good worker.
Yes, well, that, surely there must be another way to appease it other than... Well, what if it has just asked me to bring you back again and again? How many times will it be satisfied before it's satisfied?
I mean, I can take one more, right? So maybe that'll be enough.
Oh, he feels so bad. He feels so bad for you.
Just save me some energy and just drag me with you. I don't want to beat.
Darius will like grimly nod and like kind of just pick him up and like he doesn't want to drag you, so he'll pick him up. Like he'll carry him like a big bearded baby.
He'll seem oddly comforted by this, and like, finally,
that's good.
something I'm good at.
Don't, come now, please do not say such things. It's not good.
I'm gonna have
To be so hard on
much
yourself.
beer when I'm done with this.
Yes, bearded one. There will be copious amounts of drinking and singing and whatever it is you short, hairy ones love to do.
You call me bearded one, but tonight I'ma be beard one.
Yes. If we make it out of here in one piece, yes, very true.
So while
Correct.
Darix and Ludman are negotiating their plan, Ashtorium, have you attempted to... I think I saw you attempted to invoke Gelter earlier, and now you're sort of looking at this thing that just threw the chicken. So do you have much of a... assuming Gelter materializes nearby? Are you saying anything in particular about that?
Gelter, what does this magnificent creature want?
Oh,
Before
boy.
we get too far,
Mhm.
we should probably stop so that, because Pro's probably lost track of where we're at.
I've been reading your chat and trying to decipher
Okay.
what's out of character versus what's in character, but yeah, that's
Anything in brackets, I forgot that for a second, is my stuff in character.
yeah. That's most people don't do that, so that's where the confusion
Right.
comes from.
I recommend others adopt it.
Well, in parentheses is usually parentheses imply something that you can ignore, and so you would put out of character stuff in parentheses since you can ignore that. But owned.
Yeah, but then I can't type fast.
Yeah, it's almost like you shouldn't be typing random shit. It's not because it's not really meant for out of character chat. We have Discord for that. Okay, so Gelter takes one look at this thing and says, "Well, somebody did a number on him. Or, yeah, him. Him for sure. Listen, this guy has a grudge. And he'll only get over that grudge with payback. You ever hear of a vengeful spirit? That's him. Big time. I'd expect he wants some kind of blood debt repaid. It could be quite grim and grisly. But anything more I can't really tell you.
Is he talking to the robot or me?
He's talking to Ashtorium. You can't see
Okay.
Gelter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's only for Ashtorium's eyes.
So he wants revenge against something,
Right.
and you have no idea what that something is.
Vaguely getting the notion he doesn't like some dwarves. I can't even tell if those dwarves are also spirits, though, so... That's as good as I can get, I think.
Astroium will turn to his draconic companion and ask if he knows what this... if he knows how to talk to spirit.
Yes, does Darix know how to talk to spirits?
Well, in a manner, particularly when they wish to speak to me. Why?
Astroium will point towards the creature, the spirit, and say that, and relay the desire for revenge.
Oh,
say
come
that-
now, absolutely ludicrous. One more throw. You do another one and you might kill him.
The spectral warrior kind of cocks its head, and then you imagine it, if it had muscles still, it would be contorting its face into a grin or something.
Yes, you can look all smug. Ugh. Derek is really upset. He feels so awful. He's gotta give Ludman to be thrown.
Mm-hmm.
But he has no other way of knowing how to appease anything. So, are you ready, Ludman?
The caves themselves seem to quake with anticipation, and the skeleton reaches forth expectantly. Ludman kind of swallows and says, "Here goes."
One more. You hear? One. No more. And then the Dirks will very super reluctantly offer like a sacrifice on an altar to the big skeleton. Ah, Starfather, forgive me.
With glee, the creature that still bears some of its fallen armor grabs hold of Ludman, throws him up into the air several feet, catches hold of him, winds back, and chucks him directly past Darix and Ashtorium, straight into yonder cave.
All right, then. You've had your fun. No more. That's enough.
Satisfied, the creature withdraws into the cavern, but one of its arms extends back out and beckons towards you all. Then you hear a surprising thud sound. But before I can reveal anything else, Blink, you have found yourself in a strange place. It is not illuminated whatsoever. It is very dark. It's impossible to see anything. But you still feel the presence of the chicken, and you can still hear the presence of the chicken, and it's and you get the sense that maybe somehow, some way, there's something that you've stumbled upon.
Blink, hearing the chicken, is going to say, stumbling about in the pitch blackness that I'm assuming he's surrounded by.
Yep.
Is going to say, okay, be calm. And he's going to try and rifle through his explorer's pack as best he can to find the familiar feeling of a torch.
Assume that resource, homie. How many you got?
I have 6 now.
Well, you can probably scarcely believe your eyes, Blink, but you're staring at what appears to be solid marble walls. This is the first thing you've seen that hasn't been a cavernous construction. Then there, against the wall, the chicken pecks at a body that it seems to have recognized. It's, well, I would say speechless, but maybe forkless is a better term.
Are we? Well, did it work?
The chicken motions over to its own head and says, "Finally, thank you."
Just glad my ideas were fruitful. I hope you can rest now. I'm struggling to get my own spiritual friends to rest.
There's nothing but a look of pure contentedness to this chicken. It seems truly at peace, in a way that you didn't think chickens could possibly emote. Perhaps this is because this is no chicken, but instead, the faint visage of a young dwarven boy passes over it. Perhaps he is the dwarven equivalent of your age, also going through unfamiliar visages, and has finally found peace.
Blink, realizing that he's not as bad as everyone says he is. Maybe. Although he did just lie to a cave. Will say, okay, I will let you rest now. No telling how old you truly are. And then think aloud to himself. Now, how do I find my way back? As he examines the door.
Well, it's about that time that you'll hear a sudden outcry. Then, it seems to be coming from directly above you. You cast your eyes assuming you cast your eyes up there to see where the sound of the cry is originating from. There's a stark hole where perhaps the same place that you had come from, in fact, a cave opening, but not one that is rooted in the ground. Instead, one that has another attempt at a missile directly at your person. I need a dexterity saving throw. Whoo! Once again, nimbly, you dodge out of the way, and then, right into the ground. Oh.
Looking at Ludman, before Ludman can get up, so he's probably like standing over him.
Mm-hmm.
He'll kind of look over him, and as he starts to speak, he'll offer him a hand. Why are you attacking me?
Cat.
As he starts to speak, I'll offer him a hand, saying, Man, we have really got to stop meeting like this.
Before Ludman can manage much more of a reaction, there's a sudden shifting in the rocks, revealing Ashtorium and Darix on the other side of yonder wall.
Ashtorium, it's me, Wallman.
Yeah.
Hello, wall man.
No, Blink's gonna help Lidman up, assuming Lidman takes his hand. And he's gonna look through the... Like, is it a hole big enough to walk through?
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna say... Well... He's gonna look to Darks, and he's gonna look to Ashtorium, and he's gonna say... Well, you guys will never believe it.
Oh, at this point I will.
I helped the chicken, who happened to be a druid and also a dog. I think the same dog that got mad at me when I tried to feed it.
Ah, bless.
I...
Good on you, Blink.
Yes, the means of getting there were not the best. But maybe apt. I lied to the many teleporting caverns that have been lying to us. And we ended up in here. Oh, and then Ludman came flying out of the hole in the ceiling. I'm assuming
Yes.
that was another thrown object.
Yes, I do believe the spirit is now appeased. Unfortunately, it could have only been appeased by throwing Ludman. But it does seem to have been satisfied, which is good because I would not have let him done it again.
Well, he seems to have a thing for throwing. He also threw the chicken.
What a right dastard, that one. Well, no wonder he hasn't been to Astramus yet. With that sort of attitude.
Dwarves go to Astramus?
Everyone goes to
Dwarf
Astramus.
Stramus.
Everyone
as
goes
you guys are monitoring the situation, you'll hear a telltale, a faint, muffled, muted, telltale clang. The earth begins to rumble faintly.
Oh my god.
Not again.
Blake is gonna look around to see if it's anything happening in there, and he's gonna say, well, it sounds like we have another fight, but maybe we just all go into this wall and see what's behind this door and call it even. What do you
I
say?
think that is a far better option. I am not strong enough to fight another one of those.
Well,
What?
Narath, as you've taken your time to pop that lantern, I'm also going to assume you've popped the second one further up there during this time.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. So, you, Ro, and Silas will be journeying through the caverns and see Darix off in the distance with Ashtorium, but the rumbling will come. It will be very obvious. So, that intrepid
I told you,
section
you
of
fool.
Yeah, you guys will all feel it now. Silas even will feel it. Definitely the homies in the other section over there, over yonder.
Blink is going to attempt to place his torch down, even though it might shake over probably. And he's going to draw his rapier, knowing that with his luck, this door will be locked, and he will have to face whatever reckoning has come of lying to the cave. And he's going to try and open the door with his rapier drawn.
Okay.
It's locked.
Why are you calling Narath a fool?
Because he's doing exactly what he did last time that summoned a digger.
You
And now there are
idiot.
quakes going.
Oh,
It
Astramus,
makes
give
you
me
feel
patience.
better. I don't
Why
see
don't we
any more
kill
lanterns.
you right now before you kill all of us?
That would
They're up.
make Avina very disappointed that her afterlife is a dwarven one.
That
Narath, if
is
I
your
die-
only saving mercy.
If I die, I will haunt you, along with everyone who is related to me. I hope you would enjoy that.
That's a good fucking threat, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's scary.
My whole bloodline will haunt.
That's right.
No, okay. Let's make a check here.
Aw, shit.
That's
Yeah.
Looking at
Narath
Ro,
is very
Narath
smart.
says, get in line.
Don't.
Is Silas awake? Is he snooze?
Indeed, I am here.
Okay. Well, you're
It's
gonna want
espresso,
to.
man.
Yeah, he's espresso.
You're
Man.
gonna want to catch up with the party. We're gonna have a digger.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I was looking at the tab.
And then I'm gonna die, and I'm gonna haunt Narath. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, yeah. Have you done anything that hasn't put us in grave danger once?
I killed all those undead with you. And negotiated the terms with the abominations.
Yeah, yes, negotiated, sure, yes. And you also start fights and insult everyone. Ah, blast. Let's
He
just
knocked
leave.
out the orcish
Wait,
woman.
insult everyone? When have I been insulting everyone?
You come on.
Holy history check.
When has the Wrath done that?
Blink is going to emerge from the
Wrath
wall.
has gotten
with,
on-
Let's go.
Shambler, shut up.
Let's go.
Blink is going to
insulting
emerge from the
any
wall
party member.
Emerge from the wall.
with his dominating dagger in his right hand and his rapier in his left, and he's going to say, "We can argue about which one of me or Narath is more stubborn later. Let's just kill this goddamn digger."
as you do that, you'll hear faint rustling behind you as Ludman sort of drags himself up into a barely standing position before falling up against the door and sort of like plopping his hand against it and says, "Alright, you can open up now."
If Ludwig gets that door open, Blink is cunning action dashing so fast you will never see him.
The Wrath will follow as quickly as his orc will allow him.
Which is
you're
not very
holding
quick.
While
orcs,
carrying an orc, yeah,
you should have like 10 movement.
Nah, he should have to roll with disadvantage, and if he fails, he trips.
Why do I
If you're trying to run, I see, because you have to run through the hole in the wall.
You know, I don't. It's not like I have a minus in strength here. I have a +3.
Yeah, you're also carrying an orcish woman. How much do you think she weighs?
Yeah, she's
Not as much as an
200
orcish
at least. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
That orc probably weighs more than you do.
No.
Well, maybe not, but still,
not even close.
she weighs a lot more than a human, I would guess.
Although I did make Narath light for a Draconin. He's 250 pounds apparently.
That's pretty comparable to what the orc lady weighs.
Yeah, okay, so
that's
You're
probably
having
what
to
I figured.
bench your own strength just to carry her around. So I think running is a little out of the question.
You weigh
Yeah.
as much as a woman.
I said as quickly as my orc would allow me.
Holy silence.
Got him. Well, there will be the sound of telltale movement, faint mechanisms. You swear you can hear the sound of perhaps a lock lifting.
Oh, bless.
And as you all pile into the room, the Ludman is very much good job.
Everyone's just overlapping everywhere.
Don't do that.
I mean, she's in a wall either way.
Yeah, that's fine. That part I don't care about.
She doesn't have vision, so that's fine.
He wasn't preparing for you to bring along a friend.
That's right. Look, I left exactly enough space for all 7 of you.
As the party gathers into a tight clump, the enemy casts Fireball.
The
Nah,
Inquisition opens the door.
Digger
and
actually
we see
slams
the-
from the ceiling right on top of us,
No, don't worry.
instantly taking out 4 people.
There is definitely a sudden sort of movement, but it's of rocks.
Oh, we're sealed in. Epic.
Then
Ludman explodes, doing 12d12 damage.
He reveals himself as the Harlot Slayer.
and then
We are all harlots.
Many harlots. Oh, there is a.
Oh,
The dwarf.
an ornery-looking dwarf with a very ornery-looking expression looks up on all of you and says, "Ludman, what the bloody hell have you brought me?" And that is probably a good stopping point.
Hell yeah.
Nice to cut.
Yeah.
I can't wait to backstab this dwarf.
Well,
I bet you there's no digger, and we just gave Narath crap for no reason.
Oh, it's justified.
Stupid.
and
Dude, that's almost 3.
yeah, that should have been 3.
It's been
Very,
a
very
very
close to
busy
being
day
3.
for Narath. He's allowed
Three
to
in
be
my
a little
heart.
ornery.
So, that one was a really difficult session to keep track of. We've definitely had the party
Yeah,
be
everyone
split
separated.
basically 3, sometimes 4 different sub-parties. So, you know, that's something I probably should try to wrangle a little bit better in the future. But I also think it might be just a factor of the party doesn't necessarily have like a lot of I guess you could say cohesion in this moment. Oh, that's a good one. 1d1 plus 2. Guaranteed. Make your own luck. But setting aside the fact that it was a lot everywhere, I hope that everybody felt like they had a good, some revelation, some intrigue, some stuff that was adjacent to their own history. You guys managed to not fight the digger. That was pretty clutch, honestly. But
I lied to a kid.
you lied to a cave to make it happen. Yeah, you guys definitely managed to do things that I did not think were going to be possible or be happening in this moment. But here you are. You managed to make it into the cave, and I will say, as everything, the warm fire and the not so warm face of the dwarf, this should feel not necessarily as tranquil as the pond, but like maybe you're done with these travails. Maybe you will finally be in a better
It only
place.
took 3 sessions.
Oh my God.
To get here.
Yeah.
yes.
I just can't wait for the orc to wake up and try to kill Blink.
I'm
just
surprised
want
the
a
orc
long
wasn't
rest.
mad at because the orc saw me when she came in. I'm really surprised that she wasn't like, I'm gonna kill this fucker.
Well, she's
Are you
unconscious
still
right
wearing
now.
the face
so-
of Javoine?
I stopped wearing Javoine when fucking Harlot Slayer disappeared.
Yeah, but I
after
think
he left.
that was
The orc only
after.
saw you as Javoine.
Yeah. You were Javai this
Yeah,
whole
she wouldn't
time.
have recognized you. Yeah.
You were Javai when you were
When you attacked
Fought
her
her,
the first time.
and
you were
then-
engulfed, yeah.
The first time, yeah.
But the second time,
and I nearly killed her. Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm
But
surprised she
she
wasn't-
was unconscious when she saw you. She wasn't unconscious in the pond area, but the pond area has that tranquilizing effect. So.
Yeah.
And
I
then
didn't-
she was
I didn't think
unconscious.
she-
She's been unconscious this whole time. That Narath's been carrying
Yeah,
her.
I forgot
So
Narath, like,
Yeah.
weird skull
yeah,
into the ground or
Narath,
something.
Yeah.
punched her out. So
Narath got her to stop. It wasn't a
Oh.
negotiation.
Dark just wants to take a long rest and finally do his communion prayers.
Finally get to the mansion.
Oh my goodness. I literally like even wrote like an actual ritual prayer for him for when he finally is able to do that.
Dude,
And I thought
I'm
like,
telling you, you somehow get the sense that next week you'll be out underneath the stars. It'll be great.
I get the sense.
You,
Yeah, just-
not Darix. You get the sense.
oh yeah, no, I
The
mean I
Starfather
definitely will.
speaks to you.
Yeah, he spoke to me a lot this Lent, so
There you go.
Yeah,
It'll be great.
I was even gonna read the prayers like the way that the readers do,
There you go.
and church was influenced by
Yeah.
a lot of Lenten prayers. I was like, this will be cool, and then it just doesn't keep happening because we've been in the stupid cave for like 3 weeks.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I mean,
Hey, we got a ped workout.
it would have. It definitely would have been a bit more cleaner, a bit more quicker if certain other things hadn't happened. But yeah, I'll leave it vague. This could have been a very quick in and out thing, but it was not. So, you know, that's all right.
As it always seems to be with us.
Yeah.
Shit just has to take forever.
Yeah, I thought it'd be like 1-2 sessions.
Yeah.
We're like, in and out of the cave. No.
Yeah, I
No,
didn't
not the
expect. I
mansion,
thought
in and
that
out the
in the
cave.
last session when you guys fought the Bulette and all that, I thought you'd actually clean it up. But yeah, just. I mean, it kind of is natural though, like having to deal with everything that all 6 players want to do, unless so many of what the players want to do overlaps. It's really difficult to do all 6 things in, you know,
At the same time,
simultaneously. You know, if there's divergences in what they want, and so maybe we can think about getting to some kind of party alignment without sacrificing individual characters, because I think that really it's not as difficult as it seems. There's definitely.
I think that'll be a lot easier to do once we actually get to the fucking manor and have like a talk.
Well, yeah, because half of the problem
just-
is the characters don't even know each other, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Like, oh, why the fuck are you doing this? As well, there's reasons behind all this, but you know, you don't know these
90%
things. And it's
of
not
it
in
is just
character to
like-
tell you these things.
90% of it is just butting heads over stupid shit.
Yeah.
And then doing more stupid shit. And then now you look like a hypocrite. Which is
You
fine in character, but like out of character, that's just gonna bog everything down.
It's just like everybody is impulsive, except Silas, and that's just not good. Darks is less impulsive now, mostly because he's just tired and
He's been. Where? Oh, so I bet you the Draconin eggs are probably in here, huh?
I hope so.
Oh, they better be. Otherwise we have to
Darks
go
hope
back.
so. Well, Eternity wouldn't lie, so
Yeah.
We finally come across some kind of haven in these caves, so hopefully this dwarf will be like, "Hey, you guys are idiots. You should just get the fuck out of here."
Yep. Listen, he doesn't seem happy to see you, so he will be happy to see you leave. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Well, we're not happy to be
We
here.
are
so-
a bunch of fucking weirdos in his cave, so I can
Talk to
kind of
your
understand.
goat.
Pretty good.
And we'll be taking the orc with us, so they won't have to worry about that anymore. She's gonna be mad
Can't
though.
wait to be able to swap out some of my eldritch shit so I can speak languages and just lay into the orc.
Yeah, that is gonna be.
I hope you don't do that, so that the orc doesn't try to kill you.
I can't wait to divine a plan of how to kill this orc.
Well, you successfully killed.
Why do you want to kill the orc?
Well, that's
Dude,
a good question.
You actually
for another
spend
time.
like 45 minutes drawing pictures for the orc, bro.
That is true.
Come on, man.
And I thought
Hey,
even
that
Ro
worked
was
out.
like, "What are you doing?"
That all worked out.
No, that wasn't the thing that helped. What the thing that helped was apparently she speaks Gogrish, which Ro didn't expect because he figured that's the first thing she would have done when she saw him, and she didn't. So he just assumed she doesn't speak it.
Yeah, we figured out she went to Savras and all this other stuff.
None of that from the pictures.
I did a little research. If I take a long rest, I can cast a spell that will let me understand what she is saying. But
Oh.
I cannot talk back to her until I'm 5th level.
That's funny.
So
Well,
you have
I
to
guess
talk
what-
to Ro, and
Yeah,
then have
yeah,
her
we could
speak.
set this up, right? Genra could talk to Silas. Silas could talk to Ro about what the comprehension is. Ro could try to speak back in Gogrish, and then, that's the triangle. It'll work out.
Yep. Then we'll kind of maybe be able to understand what's going on.
True. And then we'll learn that she just knows thieves can't.
That'd be pretty funny.
It's the most random thing to know.
And we'll realize that she can communicate by punching.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
just want to stop
Her and Ascension
kidnapping
punch each other.
people and taking people hostage. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
I didn't think it was necessary to knock her out. Rose is gonna carry her restrained, but then Narath knocked her out first, and Ro was just like, "What the fuck?"
Narath was tired of negotiating with the already captured prisoner that he put out the fire for. And as far as he's concerned, he saved the life of...
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but like, why?
He saved the life because the...
No, just like, why?
What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, GG's.